Welcome back, everyone. Mixed emotions here today, but we're here with our last day, I guess, of the entire tournament. I'm Ryan Retro Bernard, joined today by Jack, Zerfa, Kelly, the Fantastic Four, of course, because we do have Pepito, and of course, I do believe Swelder as our observer and producer for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, of course. An exciting day ahead. Jack, why don't you go and kick things off?
Yeah, now it's the final day, and I never thought we were gonna get here. You know, it's the sixth tournament that Razer put on. It is gonna be the final day. Lots of stuff to be won, especially with the giveaways. Make sure to type !Pringles in the chat. We'll be giving away a 25 tube thing of Pringles, and also !Ticket to get involved with that as well. We'll be giving away a Razer Viper mouse at the end of the day. But it is the third and final day. It is finals day, of course, Ryan. You know, 33 teams, they are going to battle it out for the top spot for that cash prize. I can't really wait to get underway.
Absolutely. Now, let's get down to business. Talk about the point distribution. We've been here. We've talked about this. Chat, it is going to be exciting. 70 points for a victory royale, 5 points for a kill. Nothing has changed. That 6,600 euros most certainly looking very tantalizing for those that have made it today. And we'll have to wait and see who will be on the server ready to shoot heads. Of course, not only that, we have our MVP, award at the end of today to give out. We'll have more information on that shortly, but you can drop !vote in the chat to join our Discord. And at the end of the day, we will allow you to vote from one person of the top 3 teams to get themselves an extra 500 euros. But of course, 6,600 euros is the prize pool, plus the 500 euros for the MVP, plus 570 euros in Razer peripherals, split between 4th and 5th. There are prizes to be won. But as you mentioned, giveaways going on. And of course, this is your last day to enter the Razer Invitational, or the Razer Invitational huge giveaway on their website. Head over to razerinvitational.com. and you can go and check out the huge giveaway there. But as you can see on screen, our schedule, well, it looked quite full at the beginning. I think we were quite overwhelmed with the amount of tournaments being handed out, of course, by Razer and our lovely sponsors and partners of this tournament. But we're now at the last day scheduled, the 30th of January. It is Cup 6 Finals Day, the last one of them all. I'm happy that there are 661 of you in chat to witness the action that's going to go on shortly. We're going to throw it to a quick break, but when we're back, we'll be jumping in game 1. Don't go anywhere.
I'm looking for change. You ain't letting me play. You ain't bringing me down now. I'm a talk of the big town.
Welcome back, everyone. Game 1 underway. Not quite a full lobby, but most certainly 72 players turning up to occasion, of course. It is going to be finals day, our last tournament of them all. Get the hype spammed. Let's see what each team can bring to the table. Stacked rosters once again jumping into the finals day. And of course, our Pringles giveaway being drawn at the end of this game. So make sure to drop exclamation mark Pringles in the chat. But of course, it's not going to be finals day without kicking off some action. We've already lost 2 teams. We've dropped around 10 players. This is going to get exciting.
Yeah, having a look, we see it was meant to be the top 33 teams, 6 teams, obviously not showing up, as you know, we had to sadly change the schedule just to accommodate DreamHack and stuff like that. So you know, we didn't want the players to miss out on, you know, a bigger event, so to speak. But you know, very grateful of the teams that have showed up, as we now see Rifle is going to be knocked, not before he picks up a knock himself. We've lost already 3 trios, as now we have a look. It's going to be Karachi picking up a kill. Save It is going to take down Fanasian. Save It is back. He is back and ready to play. I believe they finished 3rd there yesterday. He's going to pick up another knock in the meantime when we're talking about him, as now Nate Guy Chris is all alone now, left towards Holly Hedges, and I believe Slicks and Save It are the team that are above him, as now he's going to get cracked down to about 100 HP. Slicks going to drop on through and try and hit the shot, as now he tries to get out of that box. Save It, and Slicks going to try and push him, going for that right hand peek to jump over, hitting a 28 shotgun though, as he is going to be able to knock Slicks. He's going to try and back away now. He's on to 36 HP. He has cabbages in his hands that he can heal up with for the most part, but he's going to be rushed. He's going to be taken down. It's going to be Saved that is going to pick up yet another kill, and a good start for that trio.
Absolutely. The start that they desperately needed, most certainly. But for now, of course, there is going to be the breath before the plunge. While Peter isn't here, we can most certainly, in his honor at least, honor his phrasing. So for the time being, everyone going to sit silent. Nothing too substantial happening because, of course, as we mentioned, it's finals day. This is where it matters most. You have to make sure that you're on your A game. You can't bring anything else other than it because, of course, you've got to win. The prize pool is there. This is your day that you've got to turn up. Every other day means nothing compared to now. And for some of these players to receive, you know, a prize pool of that substantial amount, I think it's 3,600 euros for first place. That is unbelievable amount of money. 1,200 euros per person on the winning trio is going to be a substantial amount of money. But as we look towards Colossal Coliseum, as the first zone will slowly make its way on in around 20 seconds, everyone seems to be quite content, made some sort of truce, even though they haven't exactly said not to shoot each other, but I feel like it's just a gentleman's agreement at this point that they're not going to shoot each other. They're going to use this time to farm up. They want to continue and get to the late game. They don't particularly want to oppress anyone. They're simply going to just bunker up, I guess, and not really offer all too much for the time being. But of course, now the first storm is underway. 4 minutes until that completely shrinks. And by the looks of things, our lobby is looking stacked. As you mentioned, Navi, Puttrick, we see Vitality, Nikoff there in the mix as well. We've got Rifler, Slicks, and Save It, as you mentioned. This is looking nasty. The amount of teams that we've gained throughout this time, I guess, is just unreal. But for the time being, though, there is going to be a bit of silence across the server.
Yeah, it's just there's not going to be too much to talk about here, Ryan, to be honest. You and me both know that we've been through enough. This isn't our first rodeo, so we know the story, we know the crack at this stage. It's just going to be sitting here, waiting, watching everybody farm up. Everybody's going to be playing safe. Everybody's going to be playing for the placement. And, you know, rightly so, because this is the only game going on today. Every other day has, you know, at least 10 games on at a time. And now, you know, we're down to just one. So you need to be up in the top 5 at least. You know, you need to be in and around the top 10 if you want to be, you know, at least having a chance at actually picking up, you know, some of the prizes that we have mentioned earlier. You know, 6,600 euro in prize money, and also even the Razer peripherals as well. So a lot to play for, and all the players realize that, you know, this is their chance. All they need to do is get, you know, a few good placements and a victory, maybe, if they can, at least in one game. I believe the last tournament we had, it was won by the Guild boys, I believe. I would think it was Gildanis, Gamma Thomas, and their other trio. I can't remember the other Guild player. That his name is just escaping me
Gamma
for the time.
Thomas, Annis, and Flick.
Flick, that's his name, yeah. Sorry, his name just escaped me there for a minute. I could not remember him. But I believe they had 3 victories in the last tournament, which was absolutely huge. They came out on top and they won it. So, like, even if you don't get the 3 wins, like, 3 wins is pretty huge. But even if you don't get that, like, if you can get 1 or 2, you'll definitely be in with a chance of maybe picking up something anyway.
Now, well, everyone is going to sit quiet. As we all know, this really isn't a time for action. This is a time for people to build up their arsenal, their weaponry as such. And so for now, well, while everyone is going to be eager to try and take some form of engagement, at the same time, is it a necessary one? Will you win it is the question. And most teams will be doubting themselves at this stage. Because as you mentioned, Jack, it is an opportunity for teams. They need to get themselves those high placements if they want to push into that top 3 and get the prize pool money. So for them to take an early engagement and risk being knocked out in the early stages, it's not something that teams will actively be looking to do. And so for them, they're just going to rotate on in towards these new zones. They're just going to play the time. I'd expect a heavy amount of storm surges for the day. Admittedly, as you mentioned, we didn't get the full 99 in the lobby, but most certainly doesn't subtract from how stacked these lobbies are, how good the level is, because of course they didn't just make the top 500, they made the top 33 of the top 500. And so these guys gave it their A game. They were able to deliver, but only 3 people can take home the prize, and only 1 person, or rather 1 trio, can be crowned the champion. And so they really want to take this step by step. Tedious to say the least, but tedious is good in this scenario. You don't want to over-aggress. You don't want to participate in a gunfight that you know you're going to lose or have a chance of losing. And so for the majority of these teams, they're going to be very happy with sitting in zone. They're going to be very happy with basically clambering onto the edges of the Storm Eye and just letting it shrink to them rather than taking the main fight. But speaking of teams that are willing to take the main fight, by the looks of things, it's Nate, Advise, and Rotary that are looking to try and make their move on forward through the middle of the zone, drawing all the attention they can to the car. But you have a look right now, Rifler, Savid, and Slicks. I was talking about sitting in the zone. It's a viable strategy, especially for these first couple. But look at the healing that Rifler has. 2 chug splashes plus 3 floppers. Plus, of course, all of the barrels, the slurp barrels, of course, giving you plus 20. So for these players, they can just heal up and then make their way on in. They don't have to oppress too much. They've got plenty of healing to their name. And so they can just continue looting, continue farming, and just living life to their fullest.
I remember actually when I first seen this side of the map, I took a break from playing this game and then came back after a while, and I first seen this side of the map and realizing just the amount of, you know, slurp barrels there are there. It's absolutely ridiculous, the amount of healing that is over that side of the map. It's such a viable place to even land, you know, as we see a lot of teams do. They like to land towards Slurpy Swamp, and just, it's absolutely ridiculous just seeing, you know, how much healing is actually over there. For now, Rifle looking the healthiest out of everyone. Savin and Slicks not looking too great. Savin is the furthest player up. I believe he'll need to heal up for the time being, because this definitely doesn't want to go down in the storm. Definitely not yet anyway. As now a jellyfish is going to be popped there. They're going to have to keep getting a move on. I hope Savin is popping a med kit or maybe a flopper or something, but I suppose we'll have to wait and find out. As now we're just going to see players box up in, well, towards Catty Corner. They're just on the mountain here, boxing up for the time being, having a look around. Everybody seems happy enough. Everyone's pretty content with where they are. Nobody wants to take any shots. Nobody wants to take any engagements. You want to be waiting until the next few zones, at least maybe when Storm Surge comes into the equation. I'm delighted to report that Savin did indeed pop a medkit, so he is looking somewhat, well, he's not looking too healthy, but a little bit healthier, should I say. He's a little bit decent HP now, as they try and drive along the road and get out of the storm. Just going to take down to around half HP, but they will get out of the zone for the time being, and they will continue to move on forward. The worst case scenario for these is once they get into the zone, they get held by a team that are just waiting on the edge, but they will be hoping for a clear passage.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the time being, as we mentioned, you know, everyone isn't really going to fight. From the first zone starting to move to now, the second zone moving in, we've lost 4 players on the server. So it's most certainly a time of difficulty for us to watch. You know, this isn't going to be the most interesting part of the game. You know, back in the day, people weren't scared of holding W key. People weren't afraid of trying to take gunfights. But now, new meta, everyone's going to try and hide. They're going to post up, use minimal materials, try and make their way around the map, and just find themselves in the later stages, the later zones, to say the least. For the time being, though, everyone holding on. You know, it's a time of relaxation. There's no need to over-aggress. There's no need to try and find yourself a gunfight or try and win a gunfight, because, well, what's the point? You're at the risk of dying, and that will give you an early exit. But I tell you what, Stompy's found the shot, and now they're looking to aggress. They found themselves the 105. The Bolt Action Sniper doing its job nicely, applying the pressure where possible. But even then, this team, they don't even push ahead. They're going to hold on. They've just done what they need to do, whittling down the healing. But I tell you what, Mapesy's just been sniped as well. That was unreal, that shot. And now they'll look to aggress. Stompy getting up close and personal. Box fighting initiated as he drops 52 shield away, taking the wall. Going to be looking for the ramp as well as he continues to oppress, continue to charge down this team. And it's going from bad to worse. Stompy going to take a couple of shots in the process. Going to be shot from the side and has to at least run away and rethink his strategy. But by the looks of things, they have just wiped out that trio. 22 now on the server. In fact, it was just the duo there that I think there is, or rather a solo. I think there are still 2 players within the picture, so not quite done just yet, but most certainly looking grand for this trio as they pick themselves up their first. 5 points in the bag and a lot of materials to go with it. They'll be quite content with what they're at right now.
Yeah, they'll be pretty happy, as, you know, everyone will be pretty happy that they're still alive for the moment. Of course, we've only lost 5 trios, so it's not too bad, you know, it's not too much even either. But with 35 seconds left, the third zone is going to begin to move. Then people are going to have to push in. This purple team could be held now towards retail. If Gogo spots them out, he could do a lot of damage and he could cause a good bit of problems for them, but he's not in the zone himself, so he's going to have to move on in. He actually spots them out. Now he's going to go for a few shots, but they're just going to try and build around the mountain, and they're going to try and rotate in if they can. For now, you know, again, we're just seeing large, you know, moments of, well, not moments, just large amounts of time of teams just not taking any engagements with each other. Everybody just sitting in their boxes, ready and waiting to pounce on somebody rotating in. And it's really just a game of patience for a lot of teams, you know. It's just waiting and seeing what, if they can find somebody, if they can catch somebody out, maybe if they can catch maybe a solo or a duo rotating in. Stompy is going to pick up another kill there. Boaz is going to be going down. He is going to be eliminated. For the time being, you know, again, not too much to talk about, Ryan. It's a big lull in the server.
No, absolutely. I think it's expected, though, especially for all 5 games of today. You know, we saw a pattern in the last 5 cups throughout all the days, where day 1 would be where we blast through our games. You know, I think we're usually ahead of schedule with the games in day 1. Day 2, I mean, we're about on time. You know, people play aggressive in the later stages because they just want to ruin other people's days. But day 3 is where we will see silence for the majority of the game. As I said, storm surges are so likely, even when there's, you know, as we see 62 players left in the server, 21 teams of the original 27. You know, yes, there is a lot of players gone from this lobby of the original 99, but at the same time, you've got to realize that, as I mentioned, from the first zone to now, as the third zone closes in, we have lost a total of 6 players. We were at 68 when the first zone started to move in, and we're now at 62. And so this is definitely something. This is where everyone is just going to be quite content with playing passive, as you mentioned. It's a massive lull. There's nothing to talk about, really. But as the fourth zone hits, we might see a bit of gunfight, especially from this team here, because they are on the opposite side. They're going to move all the way up towards the left-hand side of Catty Corner, the western side of it. And so they are going to get in their vehicle and attempt to rotate on around, making a fair bit of noise. But of course, it's probably the easiest form of rotation, the quickest at that, as they make their way on through. As we jump into the POV of Seagate, already picking themselves up 15 points. A team wipe that we saw up in the Slurpy Swamp for the time being. but everyone seems quite content with their positions. Obviously, they are going to have to rotate on in, save if they realise this, they're going to move as well. And everyone seems to have held their W keys that little bit more, and we might just see a bit of action break out here.
Yeah, I think exactly so. I think we are going to see a lot of action break out in the next few moments. As you see, Save and his trio, they're going to try and rotate in. Actually opting to go a little bit low here. Thought maybe they might fight for maybe a little bit of the high ground, but it looks like they're going to go low here and just use maybe some of the mountain, some of the natural cover that they have in front of them. Obviously, builds will be required in any place you go on the map, but a little bit less so now on the side of the mountain. Just gotta hope that the teams above you don't get a bit too interested in it and focused on you to save. It actually tags up Tyson there a little bit, or Tyson, for a little bit of damage. Bobby the dog gonna pick up a knock onto Stompy, I believe. He's gonna be taken down. Now the Storm Surge warning is gonna come in, and it's gonna be Raxo, Queasy, Fishy, and Paco that are gonna be... Well, I said it was going to be them, but they're actually 718 above it. I thought that said below. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. But for now, they are safe. They are well and truly above the threshold. But of course, 40 seconds until this fourth zone moves in. And once it reaches that destination, if we are not below 50 players, I believe the Storm Surge will become active. So we have to lose 12 in the next few moments. It's about to get a little bit hectic. But for the time being, everybody's boxed up and everybody seems happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Shots are going to continue to rattle off. Those that are below are going to try and apply the pressure. But as you mentioned, Raxo and his trio, Quizzy, Fishy, of course, and Paco, they're quite content. They're 658 above, and it's ever increasing as they continue to apply pressure to the team in front of them. As we now switch over to one of the men from Vitality, of course, Nico or Nikoff. He is a man of much devastation. Last week we saw him only play 4 games, and I still think they made a very respectable name for themselves. And so, we'll have to wait and see how will this one play out. Storm Surge now active, as you mentioned. We're going to have to drop a fair few players. And so, everyone going to try and apply the pressure as the Storm Surge continues to rattle on some damage down to the players that are below. And of course, there is no knock function with it. You are dead if you get taken down by the Storm Surge. And so, with that, everyone is going to be on their A game, going to try and apply as much pressure as possible. But we are dropping players. Rifler picking up a kill. Ilian with another. Marvin going to find a knock as well. And in fact, finish the job. Saber going to pick up Ori. Stompy finally going to go down. It's Chili to finish the job there. Paco going to find one more. And we're dropping like flies across the server. The Storm Surge forces people together. And that's exactly what we see. Ilian going to find a kill onto Trulex. And with that, we're down to 52. 18 trios left in the server. Catty corner is going to be where the zone looks to end right now. As everyone quite content, but of course there's still pressure being applied. Storm Surge still rattling on through. Finally, it's waved off by the Fortnite gods as we drop to 47, but players are continuing to drop. Nakor's going to quickly drop, and Bobby the dog. Chili FMB are going to get knocked and in fact finish. Clement and Nakor's also going to go down. Navi Putrick finally scraping his way onto the leaderboard. But for the time being, this is where the action is going to start, and I don't doubt that the firing is going to stop until the final klaxon.
Yeah, I don't think so either. You know, we're going to see, as you see now, Vitality Nikov is just going to drop a little bit of healing there for Blastor. They are actually in a pretty decent spot for the time being, but we're going to see, you know, where they're going to have to rotate to. Of course, it's going to be the 6th zone. It's going to be the first movement as we now wait and see. It is going to form, and they have to go a little bit of a distance here. They could be in a little bit of trouble on the rotate. There's some of the big dogs still alive in this. I believe Savage and his trio are still up. I believe Save It is there, Vitality Nikov. This trio, they have been absolutely ridiculous throughout every single game. As now we wait and see. 5 seconds until the storm is going to come in. Of course, it's going to force all these teams into each other. It's going to get a little bit crazy for the time being. Now, we're going to see another Storm Surge warning brought out. So we need to lose at least 12 players now in the next 50 seconds before that Storm Surge becomes active. As now, we're going to see a few quick knocks. Slicks and Phoenix picking up a few. Attack doing a lot of damage. That is some insane tracking there. Hitting people on the bouncer. I mean, half dome. Oh my. He is so low. Attack just couldn't connect the final bullet there onto him at all. He's going to have to drop down himself. He's just going to have to waterfall down. He actually hits the shot there onto Shizmalino. I believe that's how you say his name, and is now going to continue to move on in. It's Rifle and Slicks. Sorry to cut across.
No,
there,
good,
right?
mate.
Rifle and Slicks, you know, they're going to be knocked as well. iDrop is going to be knocked in the meantime as well. 13 trios are going to be left. The Savid's trio is going to be finally eliminated. And 5 players left in the server, Ryan. It's about to get a little bit mental.
Yeah, it's hectic to say the least. Storm Surge active, so the pressure being applied once again. I was going to say earlier, Attack lasering players down, and you'll see it just how good he is with it. Nick's going to continue to push on forward. They are going to connect their builds, and so this height is going to mean all too much for them right now as they move on up. 30 seconds until this seventh zone, continues to form, and there you go. More damage done. Nick's going to drop a bit of damage, dropping one to literally 1 HP as he'll continue to spam on through. Finds himself a quick kill, and they continue to oppress. He hasn't got much ammo left in his rifle, and so he'll have to switch over to a shotgun quite possibly for the remainder of this game, unless his teammates can help out in any way. Attack going to continue to oppress with that P90 and the ultimate height. We talk about this time and time again. If no one knocks you off of height, then you are going to have the easiest game. As Nick will pick up a couple of rifle rounds, nothing too substantial, but most certainly looking to apply the pressure now. Does find a tag, up 26 gun, it's blue damage, so shield most certainly in effect in that scenario. Oh my god, Nick. He's so quick and so accurate with the scarf. It's doing so much work right now as he continues to oppress. 8 bullets remaining. He's going to ask for his teammate to rain hell down. But for the time being, hype still retained. Everyone looking quite content. He's going to try and pick up the green AR off of his teammate, and so he can continue to at least try and press fire as he spots out a couple more players. He's looking for ammo, though. He needs ammo, and so it might be worth it for him to drop on down. But as you mentioned, it's getting mental. 12 players, 6 teams. Things are erupting across the server right now. An Attack, well, he has this height and this P90, and we know the devastation it can cause.
Yeah, Attack being put under a little bit of pressure. It's going to be Nix that actually picks up the kill there onto Ova. Attack picking up one in the meantime as well. Another shotgun shot there. Another player is gonna fall. There's now 10 players left alive. Make that 9 as another player is gonna fall by the wayside. And now we move into the top 5 of this game at least. Attack's just putting pressure down onto the teams below. Edison is very, very low HP. If they drop down, if they hit the shot onto him, he could go down. As now we are gonna see Attack maybe try and get down on top of Nate here. Does have that blue lever in hand. He's spamming with the P90 to build. Nate is just trying to build them out at this stage, but Edison is going to fall there. He was very low HP. Seren is going to pick up that kill. His nice shots there rattling on tree. Will get the knock, and now is going to drop on out and try and find the player that is in the storm. Seren, he is deep. He does have a few floppers available, but he cannot out heal just the damage output there from Nixon Attack. They are going to pick up the victory in the end, and that's going to be a 6-kill victory for them. A great way to start finals there.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked about that. The height is too strong. No one could take it from them. And from that point onwards, there is no way you're going to beat a team with that amount of pressure. As we head into the intel moments, we're going to kick things off next. This man is unreal. The Scar laser was just perfect. He couldn't miss a shot. He really couldn't. And this is what I was all talking about. Look at that spray transfer. Obviously, it is RNG based, the sprays in this game, but the fact that he flicks from one person to another, the first bullet headshot and the next 2 connect with body shots, lasering well over 110 HP away, is just unbelievable. As he was able to continue to apply the pressure, finds himself a quick kill there. The HP restored, of course, 100. This is where he had the green AR. I thought this could be a little bit problematic because still there's barely any ammo. This is the only time they were challenged, and even then Over was taken down. Seren, while he did have the cabbages, he was going to be pressured down. He tried to take the oppression to the players. He tried to take the peaks, but unfortunately it did not work out. Game 1 in the bag, as you mentioned. A very comfortable start, and I guess that's going to put them number 1 in the leaderboard because that is a lot of points to gain.
Yeah, it's definitely going to put them up there anyway. You know, that is game number 1, of course, in the books. I actually do have the pleasure to announce that Grey Tower, you are the winner of the Pringles giveaway. Congratulations to you, mate. Make sure to type !ticket in the chat and you will be entered into the Razer Viper mouse giveaway that will be going on at the end of the day. Make sure you have to be watching for at least an hour to be entered into that giveaway. So stay tuned for the rest of the day and press enter, or type enter, should I say, throughout the day, and you will be able to purchase tickets. You will be entered in, and we'll be giving it away that at the end of this stream. But for now, we're going to send it over to a quick little break. We'll be coming back with game number 2 shortly.
Welcome back, everyone. We've already dropped a couple of players within the server, but everyone looking grand right now as we head into game 2, of course. We've got 5 games, the final 5 of this entire tournament series, of course. 5 cups already down. We've got 1 more to go. Rifler already losing, saving, and slicks, and he's got very low HP, burning in the fire, the flames, and unfortunately, they take an early exit in game 2. 70 players, 24 teams, and Fragen hitting with a bit of an emote. Maybe he knows he's on stream. He says hello, or just for the disrespect, maybe. You never know. Tensions are high heading into this game, and so most certainly I wouldn't put it past them if they're going to emote just to release some tension, have some fun with it, of course. But for players like PKR, well, they're going to be under some pressure, but fortunately not at the moment. They are going to have some players within the area, players already at steamy stacks. The question is, will they make the move on up as he looks to try and pursue the height to try and get on out? Unfortunately, his glider has been deployed too early. He's been shot out of the sky, very low HP, in fact, dropped to 97. There are players below him that are going to try and shoot him down as well. This is not looking too good for him. He is going to be surfing around, but for every angle he's getting shot down from, down to 40 points of health, is going to be able to return and, in fact, find himself a large pot. Freaky going to get hit by a sniper, does pick up some minis, and so can go back up to 190, of course. Medkit, 2 minis, chug splashes. Life is looking good for him right now, but for everyone on the server, it is going to be quite content. Everyone going to play the passive game. We see a couple of knocks here and there. The kills are going to trickle in throughout the game, but as we know and love, it is going to be the end game that is the most important, where everyone will battle it out to try and get themselves that 70-point victory royale.
Yeah, the victory is what you're playing for. If you can get, you know, something decent, you know, towards placement, happy days there as well, as we are going to see Gogo's attack and Nick State. I believe they were the winners in game number 1. Of course, this is game number 2 if you guys are just joining us, as we see Paco is going to pick up a knock, and he's going to pick up a kill as well onto Mental Michael as attack. Now just going to pop a med kit where it is needed, as his builds are actually going to be put under a little bit of pressure here. He could be in a little bit of trouble, but for the time being he seems okay. He's just going to build out, he's just going to try and survive. Now Phoenix, BF, Jerky and Halfdom, they have a look through the builds and might actually take down game number 1's winners early on, which would be absolutely huge for the rankings. Like, because if you, like, number 1, if they get taken down, then it's really all to play for. You know, they'll have a bad game, they'll go out, they won't get any placement points, they'll just get the points for the kills that they've already got. I believe it is maybe 2 or 3 if I'm not mistaken, but they'll be hoping not to go out if at all possible this early on anyway, as we see a little bit of engagement. Gogos is going to actually go down, as the shakedown, I believe, will come in. He is going to be executed, and now they know exactly where the next 2 players are. Attack going to get into a car and try and get away to spam with this submachine gun, trying to do a little bit of damage there. Nyx has actually been left all alone. He's going to be shaken down again, and that's 2 players out of the top trio already gone, and it's not the perfect start for the game 1 winners here.
Absolutely not. You'd expect them to have some sort of, I guess, realization. They had a very big chance, and that early exit most certainly will sting. But of course, it's not all over just yet. As we mentioned, there are 5 games being played today, and so there's every opportunity for teams to come back into this one. For the time being, though, Boaz going to try and apply some pressure by the looks of things. Going to spam on down to Fika. Nothing too substantial. They are on the outskirts of this first zone as it continues to move in. 3 minutes and 12 seconds until it makes its logical conclusion. But the kill feed actually starting to fill up a bit here. Mayhem finding a knock. There's actually a kill conversion. Freaky and PKR both to fall. And in the same time, it seems to be Melody was dropped as well. Everyone quite content, though. You know, 61 players. It is expected that we'd lose some players early on. Obviously, people fighting for their POI, fighting for survival. But at the same time, well, you've got to consider the factor that, you know, it's not exactly like a dual end-all scenario. You don't have to take these early engagements. Once you've got your POI on lock, it's quite easy. Very nice shot. Boaz going to do some more damage. Dragon's Breath in his hands as well if he chooses to use it. 25 bullets left in, of course, his rifle. And this could be quite substantial. This fight will break out. He has to be very considerate with the ammo that he has. But the cavalry will arrive in the form of his trio. He'll continue to spam, but with only 1 magazine left, he's got to make it work. majoritively speaking, as they continue to move on up. And Sapri, he does have this height over the enemies right now, but the question is, can he use it to his advantage?
Yeah, trying to use this to his advantage, just trying to, you know, spam down onto the builds down below. See if he can maybe pick up a knock in the meantime as well. Of course, still just a little bit under 2/3 of the server are left. As now we are going to wait and see. Is Sapri, he's going to need to try and get away here. Boa is building up and putting a little bit of pressure on him now, and might even continue to challenge him. Now his teammates are there behind him. Won't be putting too much pressure on him. Gets into the box. Actually, Sapri going to get the knock down to 7 HP. Needs to get the refresh here if he's going to stand a chance. He will indeed get it. Missing shotgun shots in this box. It's I actually wonder how he's still alive for the time being. He manages just about to get out, but he is going to be knocked eventually. He is going to be taken down. His teammates do have him boxed now for the time being, so he won't go down just yet. As now the edit comes on through a big shotgun shot hit there, as FireCuda be down to a little bit of HP. Mepsi, he's down now, and he's going to be dropped. Actually, the spam coming on through. Jano is going to be now last alive, trying to go for a charged shotgun shot. He can't seem to connect just yet. There's a player low in there. If he can hit that big 97 there, that's a huge charged shotgun shot as he goes trying jumping around these builds, just trying to find an opening here. The ramps are being flipped, the edits are being reset, and they're doing a good job of just surviving for the time being. Yes, Shannon might be able to go for another shot. Actually going to get a knock there, and they're building now. Can he hit the shotgun shot? Yes, he can. He's eliminated all three. Absolutely huge in the end there from Ace Jano. And what a play to start us off in game number 2.
Unbelievable to say the least. The question is though, can they continue this on forward? Can they continue this spree? Very nice job from Jano to at least keep his team within the picture. 2 kills to his name, of course, and the third being on Mapesy. But Boaz has already been dropped. The question is, I'm not too sure. Did they get the reboot card in the end? I do not know. But what we do know, though, is that they are able to continue on playing. Colossal Coliseum is going to be invaded. Of course, here you are. The trio you've all been asking for. Mr. Savage, of course, Tayson, and I drop the legends upon the game. Arguably the biggest names we've got in this tournament so far. And they're looking to make their mark as they enter through the Coliseum. I drop most certainly going to be taking this some aggressive stance, but he is going to back away. In fact, he's changed his mind. He wants to get his feet dirty. He wants to dip his feet within that water, and he wants to get himself some points. Of course, still 0 kills so far, but they are looking to swiftly change that. Not the best of loot on them, but a lot of healing. I drop 6 chug splashes to plus 3 big pots, lots of ammo as well. Harpoon in the mix, as well as that blue lever shotgun. Damage can be applied. This man most certainly looking grand right now as he continues to move on forward. But now this is where things get interesting. Wave advice, while he is looking grand for the time being, his teammates need to back him up quickly because they've got every opportunity now to try to press an eye drop and Savage. They've got the pincer play inbound. Drop is going to notice the players down below, and this is where things are going to spice up.
And actually, we're going to see Tyson go down here. Tyson, excuse me. I drop now, trying to build on a way. As now Mr. Savage is going to be knocked, and 2 of the big trio are already gone. I drop needs to try and clutch this one out. Nate putting a lot of pressure on him. He's going to drop into the box. He's going to hit the shotgun shots, but he won't do enough damage. He's going to be taken down. Oh, and he's going to be emoted on as well. See you later. Back to the lobby, and sadly, I don't think we're going to be able to spectate Savage anymore this game. So you got them for a little while at least, chat. I know a lot of you do want to see all the big dogs, but you know, sadly we can't show them all. Maybe we might get a bit of them next game, but for now we are gonna now see Bobby the Dog, Griff, and Kashi, who, you know, we actually did see a lot of them yesterday, and they actually impressed me an awful lot. Bobby the Dog popped off in nearly every game that we did see. Be interested to see if he can do the same. Nakos is just above him there, and he needs to be careful of him. He has to try and back away, if at all possible, to do so. And it looks like it is. Floki is grouping up as well. And now, Bobby the Dog, he is just going to try and farm up these mats, as his team is actually going to be pushed here a little bit. Now, I wonder, are Nakos and Floki and their trio, are they going to invest too much in this hunt, really, here of Bobby the Dog, Griff, and Chashi below? But It looks like for the time being, the French side are just going to sit there. They're just going to wait. And they are not going to push in at all. It looks like we're going to have a little bit of quiet before things heat up again here, Ryan. But I'm going to put you on the spot. Did it shock you there to see Mr. Savage Tyson and iDrop go out so early on?
I think it did, but the way that it happened most certainly wasn't surprising to me. But it seems it was very poorly formulated. I think Tayson took basically a 1 versus 3, and then everyone just decided to dip in. You know, Savage was way away on the other side of the Colossal Coliseum, and the first shots rung out. They were basically taking a 2v3 from the get-go, and then they died. They got picked off, and of course, when you're in a 2 versus 3, 3 guns against 2, there's no way you should be winning that gunfight. So, yeah, you know, as some of the best players in the world, you'd expect them to turn up, but the way they died, it wasn't convincing for me. I feel like it was destined to happen, especially from the way they took the gunfight. But, speaking of gunfights, Raxo, Crazy Fishy, and Paco, players I do believe that placed very highly in the first game, they are going to try and make their mark in game 2. They have positioned themselves just southwest of the Catty corner, but they are going to have to make their way further east towards the new zone as it does formulate on the right-hand side of Catty corner, the flip side of where they are right now. But they are going to look to try and apply some pressure, and they do so perfectly. Raxo going to drop around 80 shield. There are shots rattling off in the distance, and this engagement that they're looking into is looking very spicy right now. But, as you mentioned, nothing too much is going to happen. Everyone's just going to sit passive. No one really going to oppress all too much. They just want to sit, hide, and wait. As we see off in the distance, Floki and his trio are going to make their way across. Raxo going to try and apply the pressure where possible. This AR is going to try and do some damage. While it does connect once, it will only be once. Everyone just going to rotate on him. But the problem with this team now is that they play way too passive, in my opinion. They now have to rotate into all the teams that have already rotated. They'll have their eyes on the edge of the zone. They know that they're there. And so it could be quite a scary time for them.
Yeah, it could be quite a difficult time ahead as well, rotating into all these players. Karachi is going to be taken down. It's going to be Desolator that is going to eliminate him in the end. We're down to 17 trios. You know, 49 players are left in the server, so Storm Surge won't come into it. You know, we're under the threshold anyway for the moment. If people stay up, you know, if people, you know, stay alive until, you know, the next few zones, we will definitely see it being brought in. But for now, nothing of the sorts, as Ajan and his trio, Mappy and Chris, they're just going to begin to build around this mountain and move on into the zone. They're going to try and get a nice position if they can. Now, they spot out a few builds down below. There is another few builds over to the right. But for the time being, this side of the map, it's pretty much clear for the moment. It's not too heavily congested. Of course, there's not going to be too many teams rotating in from this side. Maybe, you know, 3 or 4, but not too many at all. Everybody's going to be nearly over towards that bridge side. A lot of pressure could be put on there, or even towards that little house there, I believe. Was that a person down below?
Yeah,
my eyes are absolutely not or they're playing tricks on me today, and not at the races at all. But for now, we're going to see Crazy. He's going to be knocked. Floki and Clement, they're going to pick up 2 quick knocks, and I believe 2 quick kills. So 3 all in all, as Francis is going to go down. Floki going to pick up 1 more. And for now, everything's all quiet across the map. Just a few pop shots with snipers, just trying to get a knock into some boxes. But for the moment, we're not going to see too much. The double snipe shot there is just going to fail. We're still on 46 players, still about 16 players left. Desolator is going to be knocked. The Storm is going to finish moving. Fort Zone is going to begin to form, and it's going to heat up a little bit when teams get pushed closer together.
100%. I'm expecting nothing but heat coming out for these sides now as shots continue to rattle on off. It is Fnajan that's going to try and line up a shot onto Austin. Fortunately, there is going to be a brick stairway in the way, and so it will not connect for the time being, though. They are just going to have to try and make their way on through. In fact, Nate Guy Chris have just been knocked. In fact, they are going to try and apply the pressure. Fnajan, while he has hit some huge shots, that's some full damage that he's not going to be happy with taking. He's got the chug splashes, and so he's probably going to wait for his teammate to use the med kit, pop the chug splashes, get the mini sorted, all of the above, really. Esturakeep, he's been pressured down a little bit with Phoenix, and of course half done by his side. They're going to just try and post up in this new zone, and they do so successfully. Austin going to try and take the early engagement, though. Big damage done. Huge shot as well. That Scar finding the headshot. The mark most certainly there. And now, Alien forced to back away and heal up. So the rest of the squad has to fend for themselves. But the question is, they have done so quite well, but can they keep that up? As Austin continuing to apply pressure. He does not care who he's shooting at. If there are heads presented to him, he will fire at them, as he is going to try and rotate his way on back. He has been punished a bit himself. Him and his team going to try and get the pressure down themselves. And oh, even more full damage. He drops to 14 points of health. This is a tough scenario for him to be in. And I think he is just going to be at the end of the road here, as he's going to have to rotate on in. There is going to be a team quite close. And I'm going to try and find him. Holding the edit, though. Going to try and make his way on forward. Everyone seems quite content. 44 players, 16 teams, as you mentioned. You know, there is going to be a fair bit of silence across these games, but it is starting to pick up. The pace most certainly is going to increase for the time being.
Yeah, it's going to pick up. I mean, it has to. It's like, you can't stay this quiet forever. As now, we just wait and see teams are rotated in. Peak. I believe Pink went down actually earlier on. He's actually back up on his feet. I don't know if he got eliminated or if he just got knocked and then rezzed, but I'm pretty sure I saw him get knocked from Storm. But he is on his feet. He is back in the server and ready to go. It's 15 seconds until the fourth Storm will stop moving. Best fighter is going to get a knock onto Offstein now in the zone. But Pengu Wingu now finds a huge knock, some huge headshots there with that heavy assault rifle. Now looks down below, maybe to find another team rotating in. It's Chili FMBR who is going to be tagged up. He is going to be tagged around half HP. They're after pushing into a team, so they are in an awful lot of trouble. Best fighter is going to go down eventually to the Storm. Chili FMVR is going to be knocked out by FaZe Phoenix, and I believe his teammate has fallen as well. So we're down to 14 trios now, and the server placement is going to start coming into effect now. The fifth zone has begun to form. 30 seconds until that will move into its final destination. We're down to 40 players at least, so just under half the lobby are still alive and still running about, or alive and are boxed up rather. But for the time being, it looks like teams are just going to try and get a free rotate in. Nate, Advice and Rotary, they've actually a pretty decent rotate. They haven't been focused too hard. They're using these old builds to their advantage, and that's what you have to do. You have to try and, you know, save up all your mats, try and use as little as possible. Then once you get into the zone, just box up and just hope nobody decides to focus you, because that could be the difference between life and death. As Swap's now going to try and build ramps above them to try and hold players off. Attack is going to be killed. Nakos is going to be knocked there by Pink, picking up that one. Queasy Fishy now pushing up with his teammate Paco and Racco. Pink picking up the final kill onto Nakos. But now Pingo Wingo, they're going to try and hold the high here. Bobby the Dog going to be knocked. It's going to be Artis Muerte that is going to pick up that one. And now Kashi with a kill onto Mappy. Loads of players being knocked down there as well. Fanajan is going to be knocked by Kashi again. Chris will eventually take him down. And I wonder who is going to be eliminated all in all there. Bobby the Dog, Kashi and Griff. It looks like it is going to be their trio. Chris picking up 2 in the end. We're down to 12 trios, 34 players left in the server, Ryan. And I think, to be honest, Pingu Wingu, Eriki Ray, I don't know how you pronounce that. I hope that is correct. Or Soldatu, I think, you know, they're in a decent position, especially with the height that they have here. I think they are, you know, very much in control, and especially if they just keep focusing on the builds. The only problem really that I can see is them running out of ammo.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is a scenario in which they've got height, they've got every opportunity. They just need to hold on, and ammo most certainly is going to be the only limiting factor. In fact, though, there are a fair few people that are going to try and rotate on in. Eric, while he is going to try and give his best laser impression, he can't really connect. I tell you what, though, Artis Muerte going to take substantial amounts of damage. You're going to have to pop the minis, and of course, got the 2 fish to assist him with that as well. But everyone seems quite content. There's no real aggression, no real findings as such. As I say that, Eric Rayleigh, he is going to drop Artis Muerte. Wingu going to drop on down, going to try and connect the builds on up, and he does so perfectly. Will continue to take the height, and he's going to even connect once again. This man, he's on a mission. He's using his materials wisely, just using them to connect his builds. They can't get taken down from height like this, and he banked the lasers half done down, and in fact finds the knock, shoots the floor, or maybe the floor wasn't placed. I'm not too sure, but either way, he is going to die to full damage, and Pengu Wingu going to take up that kill, and now the aggression will continue. Everyone going to try and apply some sort of force as we head into our 7th zone. 29 players, 11 teams. My God, is this going to get intense very, very shortly as things continue to spice up. Pengu Wingu, he's just doing a great job of connecting the builds. I think in the last 15-20 seconds we've watched him, he's connected to 4 different builds. It's quite literally, this team can't be taken, they can't be wiped off of their height, but most certainly they do have an opportunity to get taken down if someone else is to contest them. We saw in game 1, the high ground wins, and game 2, I mean, it seems to be no one really going to contest high ground. No one's learnt their lesson just yet. But the question is, can this trio convert their high ground into success like we saw in game 1?
And yeah, especially, you know, you see a lot of people contest when, you know, shockwaves and stuff were in the game, but you don't see too much of it now. Of course, you have to build up and hope that you go unnoticed, or just try and use a bouncer and get up on height. But for now, nobody is going to build up. They're going to try and maybe shoot down a few builds. Pengu Wingu doing a good job, as you said, and just connect and making sure that that does not happen. Dirty going to get a storm kill, I believe, on Rams Clement, as now Mappy tries to use a bouncer trying to get up and maybe challenge the height. A little bit of damage coming in. Nate is going to pick up a quick kill. Pengu Wingu now going to take a little bit of damage. Needs to be careful. There are bouncers that he can use, and it looks like he's going to drop down. He's going to drop away off the height and use these choke splashes to his advantage. We lose another player as we're down to 19. There you go, Chris beginning to build on down. Pengu Wingu actually going to pick up a kill there in the storm. Needs to get out of the zone if he can. There's a jellyfish on the ground that he can pick up as well. A purple tack shotgun if he wants, but he needs to try and get out of the zone while he can, and he will do a good job of that. He's going to pop that jellyfish, and now he is going to indeed use those mini pots. Hey guy Chris gonna heal up himself. Mappy and Fanasian, they're pretty low HP, so they need a nice refresh if they can pick it up. 7 trios are going to be left, as 14 players are left in the server, as they guy Chris, Mappy and Fanasian. They're probably one of the nearly the only trios that are left alive. Maybe 2 or 3 are left alive, but for the time being they are up on the high ground. They're just spamming down into the builds trying to find something. Of course, looking for that refresh on Mappy and Fanasian would definitely maybe even seal it. Vitality Stompy going to be knocked. Edison going to be knocked as well, and Trulix is going to be knocked in the meantime. Mappy is actually going to fall, and he is going to be taken down. Nate now going to try and heal up and get back into the zone as he gets into a box, and he gets up on top of his teammates here. Now he is going to try and find somebody maybe on the low ground. We're down to 8 players, 4 all in all. We lose 1 more as 7 players are left in the server. Nate guy Chris and his trio, they're just spamming down into these builds down from below, using the high grounds as Nate and his trio. They are getting so aggressive. It's going to be Jerky though that picks up, I believe, 3 kills. That was absolutely ridiculous if he did. As now Jerky is at the bottom. Half Dome is with him. They are ready and waiting as teams may drop on through. Fanasian is going to be knocked, and Nate guy Chris is going to fall soon after, as VF Jerky, Half Dome and Phoenix, they're going to pick up the 2nd game of the day. That is going to be their victory and a 10 kill win for them. I believe we're looking at 120 points for that trio, so an absolute insane amount to be adding to the leaderboard, and it'll definitely put them up, and it'll definitely put them in the running to maybe take home this top cash prize.
Yeah, what a game. 10-point victory royale, or 10 kill, excuse me, victory royale, as you mentioned. That is unbelievable. As you jump into our Intel moments, of course, the replay brought to you by Intel. For now, though, you look at this. Artist White, look at this. He just got lasered out of the sky. The player on height just would not stop. As now, while the aggression was being made, everyone seemed quite content on their positioning. Everyone was quite happy. You see, they've got Chris dropping down now. As for the time being, well, they took the height. It was a little bit interesting to see. And this edit, that was so slick. That edit there, amazing. Unreal. I was waiting for that moment. Fanasian, well, he was able to pick up 6, and Nego Chris was able to pick up 3. It wasn't the 6, 3, and 1 that the winning trio had. Very well played to them, and of course, they move on forward substantially in the point scoring. For now, though, we are going to throw it to a quick break, but when we're back, we'll be back with Game 3. Chat, don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon. Welcome back, everyone. Game 3 underway. We've got only 2 more after this. We'll have to wait and see how things progress. Of course, the duo cast, the God duo, myself and Jack, of course, take you through our last day of our final tournament. It is a sad time, but the most important bit about it is that there is 6,600 euros on the line, of course. The community event powered by Razer and all our lovely partners. But we're going to jump back into the action already. Savid has lost Rifler from his team. Slicks is going to have to pick up the pieces alongside the Irishman if they can continue their spree and try to get themselves in this game. But Savid is going to have his building basically burnt down in front of him. Pressure well and truly applied. But fortunately for him, he is able to just move out, move rotation, and is able to regress through Holly Hedges. Does have a couple of weapons in his pockets and so can continue trying to apply some pressure. He does take a bit of damage in the process and now is getting built upon. I think this is his chance to back out, back away and relax. But still, only lost 4 players so far. Things are getting interesting, of course. It's getting intense. But most importantly, it is going to be great fun to see who can come out on top in game number 3.
Yeah, it'd be great fun to see who can come out on top. I don't think, now, if Savid and his trio go down in the next few minutes, I don't think they're going to be too happy. Probably see a Twitter post about it afterwards that, you know, they're just getting W keyed off spawn, they're getting griefed. But for the moment, we are just now going to sit and wait. It looks like they are still alive, and just as I say, that Savid is going to be knocked. It's going to be Mappy that picks that one up, and I believe he is going to be finished. There's one player still up. I believe it could be Rifler, or it could, I don't know. It's either Rifler or Slicks. Of course, they're the 2 in his trio. But I think Slicks went down. I think Slicks was the player that was already killed as well. So I think Rifler now is going to have to clutch up if he can. We've already lost 5 players. We're down to 25 trios. So 2 of the 27 are already, after backing out, they are not in the lobby. They have decided there is no chance that they are going to be near the top. So the lobbies are going to get slightly smaller throughout the day as the days go, or as the day goes on. It's just the usual. It's just the norm. It happens when you've no chance of winning. Teams don't feel like playing, and I mean that's fair enough as well. You know, you don't want to be wasting your time or anyone else's. So they are just going to move on out. But for now, we're just going to see teams farm up. We're actually going to see not too many engagements. As I said, there's only 4 players died off spawn. 1 trio is finally going to be eliminated, and it is going to be Slicks. It is going to be Savid's trio going out. I believe that is the 2nd game in a row they've gone out now first, or maybe in the top 5. I'm not too sure about first in the 2nd game, but they are definitely the first trio to be eliminated now, and not the start that they wanted.
Absolutely, and actually, Tayson going to apply the pressure onto Mr. Savage and their trio. This is going to be a gunfight for the ages, as Mopsy at least will return some shots in response, but Tayson looking to get aggressive. The aggro push may be coming on in. Possibly could be the opportunity now for the time being, though. Tayson going to try and line up a shot, unfortunately missed out. Mr. Savage, sniper rifle in hand. We saw them take quite a quick exit in the last game, but the question is, can they continue? In fact, Endretta's there. I don't know. Is this trio, are they in the fight? I don't know. But they're playing, apparently. I didn't see them in the first 2 games. Maybe, you know, maybe it's just me tripping out. I don't know. I didn't see them in the first 2. I'm not sure about you, Jack, but... Well, they've turned up now. Maybe they were late to the party, but most certainly looking to try and make their mark right now. For the time being, we shall see. Mr. Savage looking to aggress, actually finding a shot 68. The right-hand side, of course, is where he's at. Man from 100D is going to try and apply the pressure. Unfortunately, is going to be forced away. In fact, down to 100. All of his shield gone, but luckily, he's got 2 minis and a large to get back up. Let's see what they can do.
Not too sure. Is Andrea playing with Tayson and...
Yeah, they're in the same team.
Yeah, that's so confusing. So iDrip is gone. Hopefully... we can get somebody. Yeah, iDrop was replaced by Andretta. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. I haven't seen that. I'll have to get a word on production now, or maybe one of the admins can message me to see what happened there. Would love to know a little bit more about that, but I suppose we'll need to see what is going to happen. As now we're going to see. Maybe he's going to begin to edit on down and maybe try and pick up a kill here, apply a little bit of pressure. The whole building is on fire. or on fire, excuse me, as now Macy is going to continue to spam on through the builds, as now Mr. Savage will be able to hit a shot. Tyson going to have a look around towards the outside of the building to see what he can find, but for the most part everybody is hitting up for the time being. We're down 10 players all in all. I believe another player has been knocked in the meantime as well. Mappy is very, very low, he needs to be careful. There's now Tyson, excuse me, is gonna have a look to see if he can find anyone down below. He has grouped up now with his team. I believe Mr. Savage has gone down and he is going to be res. There's going to be a knock there. I think Nate Guy Chris just went down and just got eliminated. And I see a lot of you guys saying he needs to play DreamHack. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. You have to go play DreamHack. You have to go play DreamHack. But for now, for the time being, Demon Anna is going to be resed, and we're just going to focus on the Razer Invitational, as Tyson having a snipe, won't be able to hit anything. Will connect maybe 1 or 2 bullets. Now going to try and edit on through, but he is going to be sandwiched. Tyson is going to be able, or his team rather, is going to be able to pick up that kill, and they're going to continue to apply the pressure. There's 2 more players down below, and a good shotgun shot there. Tyson catching them as they come out the back. Another kill goes in the books for them. They picked up 2 already. We're down to 59, and 4 trios are already gone.
Absolutely, and that is confirmation that Tyson, Savage, and of course I drop playing DreamHack, so Andretta standing, and the man that was recently picked up by Nordavind, he'll be looking to try and make his mark, his return, his first tournament, I do believe, under the name of Nordavind, so it'll be interesting to see what is going to happen right now for the time being. Tyson, excuse me, picking up a couple of gas canisters. Question is, though, or rather, the question is, will they be able to deliver anything else? They are going to try and use them to their advantage, of course. Looking to do some damage with them. And there you go. Throwing them both in. Looking to do some damage. Trying to pull away the builds. Trying to expose some form of gunfight. The question is, will they be able to find anything? Tyson going to get dropped on. The question is, can they find the conversion? For the time being, everyone quite content. There is going to be the fight breaking out. The Storm is certainly going to apply some pressure in the meantime as they continue to try and edit on in. Tyson missed shot, and he will be able to recover quite nicely. Boaz to fall as they now look to continue their spree. 54 players, 18 teams. Players are dropping like flies in game number 3.
Yeah, they really are. Everybody is, you know, now realizing that they have to, you know, get a move on. They have to, you know, start playing for these points. They have to start picking up kills. As I have a quick look, I'm actually going to pull up the leaderboard here for a moment and just have a quick look. This is pretty interesting, though. I just want to go back to this. Picking up Andretta, of course, as you guys say, that Idop has to go play the 3rd heat of DreamHack. You know, it's pretty interesting because, you know, Andretta is a pretty huge pickup. Like, Andretta is, we've seen a lot of him in nearly every event. I was surprised pretty much not to see him in this one. I believe he won one of them, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say maybe the 3rd or 4th week it is.
I think it was 4th, yeah.
Yeah, he did win it with his trio, so definitely not a bad pickup to get in, especially if you're definitely going to go for these cash prizes in the end that are up for grabs today. Let's have a quick look. I believe it is 8 Advise and Rotary that are up on top for the time being. Having a quick look to see where actually Savage, Tyson and iDrop are, and it looks like they're down in 20th, so they're going to need some pretty big games coming out here, or else they could be in a bit of trouble. Well, not even in a bit of trouble, they just won't win it, and they just won't win any money. The other teams are just going to keep applying the pressure. They're just going to keep building up their lead. They're going to need pretty much a big game, maybe a victory, top 5 definitely at least. And for now, looks like it is going to be just a little bit quiet throughout the map. We've lost 10 trios all in all. 45 players are left. And now this second storm is going to begin to move on in. But for now, you know, Ryan, same old, same old. We're not going to have much to talk about. How have you been getting on, mate? Good day?
Yeah, decent day. I'm going to quickly distract our lovely talk. I have just had word that, in fact, it is allowed that Andretta is replacing iDrop. That is a feasible thing, but I do believe that because the trio won't match up to that on the scoring system, they won't get any points for it. So, I don't know. Maybe it's a decision they just want to have fun and play, or maybe they're just, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's just Andretta that doesn't get points, or rather iDrop that doesn't get points, and so it's on the other two players. I have no clue, but all I know for the time being is that it is allowed that they get that replacement, and so they can continue playing. So fair play to them. Retail Row, though, we're certainly looking stacked for the time being, but as you mentioned, Jack, there's nothing going on really. There's nothing much to talk about. You know, we can sit here, laugh and giggle and enjoy ourselves, but at the end of the day, there will be no action for at least a couple of minutes or so, because everyone looking to rotate on in. Still 45 players, a substantial amount of players already removed from this game. So I think for the time being, Storm Surge most certainly out of equations, but I'm enjoying this. I really am. I think that over the last 5 tournaments, we've seen the tournament level, the amount of teams that are playing rise so much. I think in the first week it was a fun tournament, don't get me wrong, but the teams weren't nearly as good as what we are presented today.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you just have a look at the lobby, you know, you'll see the names when we're into the final circle, and indeed in the kill feed throughout these games. Like, the skill level in these games is absolutely ridiculous, and to be honest, I'm surprised about how many people have joined up and how many of the big names. Like, we've seen Mr. Savage, you know, we've seen Benji, we've seen Tayson, we've seen, you know, everybody that is somebody has nearly played in this tournament, and it'd be interesting to see, you know, who can actually pick up the win in this one. I'm not too sure if Lecce is playing. I know he was playing yesterday or maybe the day before. I don't know if they actually made it. I'm not too sure about that one now. I'll have to double check for you in a moment, but for the time being now, Lazy Lake getting a little bit contested, and this team would want to be a little bit careful. It swaps Edison and Versa, who for the time being are just going to get in the taxi. They're just going to try and drive away, and to be honest, this is a smart play for them. Okay, maybe not, because they can't get over that wall. They're going to have to just break it and then move on forward. And now Raxo is just going to be farming up a few mats for the time being. And yeah, just actually having a look. So Lecce did play in this yesterday. He missed out his trio. He's playing with Hardfind and Astros MNZ. Come on. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. 262 points they finished with yesterday, and you needed 267 to beat Phoenix Jerky and Halfdom. So they did not make it, sadly, in the end. A little bit unlucky on their part, but they were definitely playing, but just weren't good enough to get in the top 33.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say at this point in time there is a fair few quirks with this game. I do believe I've had word once again from our lovely admins here at the tournament, of course, hosting this. Very nice of them. They have informed me that it is going to be a new squad, so the points that they'd received previously won't count as they brought in Andretta. But from now, I do believe that it's basically they've signed up as a new team to the finals. I don't know.
All right, yeah.
I think that's the most sensible way of doing it as well. They're just gonna relax, you know, new scores, but they've got 3 games to do it in. That's quite a time constraint to work under, I guess. But Retail Row looking very jam-packed, full of players, as everyone sits silent. Nothing too much happening. The nerving factor is going to be, of course, with all these players in the area, they're going to have themselves a little bit of a daunting task. The question is, can they deliver? Pengu Wingu actually finding Tayson. Big kill being found, and that's most certainly put a spanner in the works. Navi Putrik, we've seen their name time and time again within these tournaments, but I think this is the first time I've actually seen them on screen. We saw them once in the kill feed on game 1, I do believe. I haven't been paying too much attention, but they're still very much within the picture, and right now on the leaderboard, by the looks of things, they aren't placed fairly highly. Having a little scroll on down, I don't see them. Most certainly not top 5 right now. They are 13th overall, but most certainly will be looking to make a name for themselves. Let's see. Can they deliver? Retail Row most certainly out of the equation now, as it will head just north of this new circle. And Versa hitting us with the emotes. Going to provide some music, some entertainment for the evening while we wait for the next zone to form.
And yeah, it's just going to be quiet. People are just going to be rotating in. Nobody is going to do anything at all for the moment. See, I did not say for the time being. I can switch it up. Don't you worry. I'm a jack of all trades. No pun intended. As now we see Wave Advice, Rotary, and Nate. They have this built up. They might actually hold this team behind. I believe Tyson, excuse me, is already gone down. So Mr. Savage and Andretta, they are going to have to do it all alone. If we are talking about, you know, they're restarting as a new team, they're really going to have to perform here. They're really going to have to try and pick up the victory, and they're going to have to try and do it as a duo. But I mean, if there was anyone to do it, it would definitely be that trio. They have an abundance of skill, as everybody knows and everybody can see. But for the time being now, we are just going to see teams box up. We're seeing a little bit of focus from Queasy Fishy. Braxo picking up a kill there. As now people are going to rotate in. There's a minute until the fourth zone will reach its destination. So everybody going to get into a nice spot, hopefully, where they are not going to be focused by many teams. But again, this zone is going to be finishing on a mountain. So it could be pretty interesting to see, you know, who's going to rotate up, who's going to play the low ground. Of course, it's going to be strenuous on the builds, of course, as all these zones are. But especially ones that are going up the hill, you know, and it's can make it a little bit difficult as well, because, you know, when people are getting up on top of these mountains, or trying to get up rather, and there's old builds in their way, especially being heavy mats, they have to just break through them with their pickaxes, and it just wastes a lot of time. They end up ticking in the storm for a lot of damage, and sometimes a lot of teams get caught. So I think that's definitely going to be a factor in this. Mr. Savage is going to explode that car, try and pick up a few kills here. Jason, he's already found 2, but he is now in the grave. So Mr. Savage and Andretta, they're going to have to do it all. They've got 2 between them, as now the 5th zone, it begins to form. Mr. Savage and Andretta, they don't have to go too far. They have to go up the hill a little bit. There's a team directly above them, so that could cause a little bit of a problem. But for now, they're just going to have a look and see if they can laser anyone behind them before they maybe think about rotating. As actually Mr. Savage is going to go for a snipe. Can't seem to hit it. And now 42 players remain and 15 trios are left. Ryan, 15 seconds until people are going to have to rotate.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do believe, though, that this duo now, I guess, the Savage and Andretta, my word, is that going to be a force to be reckoned with? As you mentioned, you know, Andretta, the newest pickup for that trio in the finals day. I mean, individually, we've seen them perform on every level. Andretta, you know, I think personally, one of my favourite pros. Oh, Shizmalino. Unbelievable, that shot. But as I was saying, Andretta probably one of my favourite pros. I know Mr. Savage as well, you know, playing under 100 Thieves. The man is an absolute god. That duo, I mean, that's a force to be reckoned with. But of course, a duo is not quite the trio, and they can get flushed out at any point in time. As we jump to the split screen, of course, we see Shizmalino. He is looking for damage. Pink gonna drop 35. For the time being, well, everyone is quite content on their positioning. No one is going to aggress all too much. Everyone just going to try and post up as best as they can and hold on for dear life. Mr. Savage is going to have the pressure applied to them. There are players from above that are going to try and bring the fight to them, but fortunately, they are going to be caved in the zone, and happily, that's in their boxes. As we now head into our 6th zone, it is on the complete flip side of the current circle. Everyone's going to have to basically go for full distance. They are going to have to continue to push on forward. Going to continue to aggress, and of course, that's where we're going to see a lot of gunfights. We get the lovely view now. We see plenty of names on. I see Pengu Wingu on the bottom there. I see Bobby the dog within the picture, and Dretta, of course, Mr. Savage. Nix, excuse me, the winners of Game 1, of course, on the height once again. Attack. The human laser, I would argue. The man was an absolute beast in the first game. An early exit in the second. And I'm telling you, I don't know what happens. What a shot from Attack. Literally, I call him the human laser. And he only does and performs probably one of the best amount of shots I've seen with a legendary pistol in my life.
Yeah, he's pretty accurate with it. His tracking is ridiculous as well. Every shot that he seems to, you know, everybody that seems to be rotating in or using these bouncers, you know, he seems to hit. he doesn't seem to miss very often, as now he's going to use a bouncer of his own to rotate on in, and now have a look behind as attack actually lasering people out of the sky. Okay. He's so accurate.
Unreal.
He's so accurate with this. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a little bit hard to believe, as now we see attack having a look down to, I believe it was Karachi down there, and he could have had a few free shots on him if he was looking. Karachi was very, very low indeed. And yeah, he's definitely a controller player anyway, because you're definitely not on mouse and keyboard doing that, or if you are, you know, you're absolutely ridiculous. Storm Surge is going to become active now. Steppy is going to be knocked. He is going to be taken down, as now 32 players remain. Next attack and Go-Go's. They are going to be up on the high ground. They're just going to try and keep high if they can. They're going to be dropped off for the time being. Karachi going to pick up a knock there on Seren as well, as now we see Train Edge Alpha. He's going to be taken down. Edison is going to be knocked as well. Nick's hitting a few nice shots there as the player tries to build up, and maybe he can test for the high ground, but for the most part we are going to sit and wait. Now a few more spams coming on through, but there's not too much going on. You know, spam into builds, but no shots really connecting too much. All the action is going to be on the low ground, as Shiz Milano needs to be careful. He needs to try and build his way out. Actually hitting a nice right hand peek there, actually hitting a shot there, getting the knock there onto Virsa. He won't be able to pick up the refresh though, and he will be taken down. Nick's attacking Go-Go still again on the high ground, applying pressure onto these builds down below, just spamming down. There is going to be a knock on Virsa. Stormy is going to be knocked. Griff going to be knocked as well, as now we are down to 20 players left in the server. 11 trios make that 10, as Karachi is going to be taken care of. He's going to be eliminated, sent back to the lobby. Raxo picking up a knock and kill as well. Vehicle lol 2. Now Go-Go's attacking Nix. They're still on the high ground. They won game number 1 and they're in pole position to pick up game number 3. As this high ground, it's going to be absolutely just uncontested. You know, nobody is going to even challenge them up here, and they're just going to have free reign to literally rain down bullets from above. 10 players left, and you know, if I was definitely picking a trio to win, it would definitely be these guys.
Yeah, they've got everything in their hands right now. The height, the weaponry, the ammo as well is actually quite good. As Blackie will now drop on down, going to try and find himself a quick kill. Unfortunately, going to bite the dust. It's Raxo to pick up a double as well. Worslian and Blackie both fall. Nick's looking to try and put his 2 cents into this scenario, as he does have the height, as we mentioned. Uncontested to say the least, as he does find a bit of damage. Nothing too substantial. Edit on through, though. He is going to be caught in the storm. That's unfortunate, and now he might go down. It's just a factor of survival, and he does win. Is going to get into this new zone. Going to pop the mini before he takes the next engagement, and it will be his teammates that are going to drop in a couple of materials, as there are 5 players, 2 teams. Attack, Go-Go's, and Nick's looking in pole position to win this one. Bandages, of course, in hand. They'll be looking to go for the heal off if they so need to, but they might not even need to, because they've done it inside 9 zones. It's Nick's and Go-Go's to find the last 2, and with that, they take home a victory royale to remember. Very, very well played to the both of them. And of course, that's a huge amount of points in the bag.
Yeah, huge amount of points there. I didn't actually see how many kills they actually picked up. I was actually too busy looking for them on the leaderboard. But that is definitely going to skyrocket them up to the top, no matter where they really are. But we're going to jump into the intel moments here, and we've seen the attack here, and wow. I mean, he's definitely on controller. He has to be. That is absolutely ridiculous tracking that you just could not pull off anywhere else. Little L2 spam or LT, whatever controller you use. As now we're just going to see Nick, he dropped on down, he put on a little bit of pressure, and he actually picked up that kill onto JC. Now it was really fairly routine from there. They're on the high ground. Nobody challenged them at all. They picked up another quick kill towards the end too. In fact, it was a 5-kill victory from them. So that's a 95-point game in game number 3. But no, it's still a great game. I'm still looking for the leaderboards to update, but they are definitely going to be up there at the top. And indeed, they are. They're in the lead, but only by 3 points. So you know, it's still really all to play for. And the other few teams, they are very close behind. It's very, very tight at the top, around the top 4. It's still really all to play for. But for now, we're going to send it over to a quick little break. Coming up shortly, we have got the game number 4. So please don't go anywhere.
Well, this is an interesting one. Welcome back, everyone. 39 players join us for game number 4, our penultimate game of our last day of the last cup. I'm Ryan Retro, and I'm joined today by Joseph Kelly, and we'll take you through the action right here for our send-off, I guess, for this tournament. Our second to last game, and wow, do the numbers sting.
Yeah, having a look, 39 players, there's only 13 trios here. Yeah, not a lot that really we can do about it. People obviously want to go and play in DreamHack, so, we've now 13 players left in the server. See, what we can commentate. It's going to be even slower. I mean, finals day, they're always slow, but now it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are tuned in and you are strapped in for a long ride that is going to be this game, because it is going to take quite some time across. This is game number 4. So there's one more game to go after this. And to be honest, I think we're going to see even lesser players in the next lobby as well. Nix is just going to farm up this llama. He's going to pick up some decent mats, I believe. His team have retail to themselves. I don't see anyone around. And to be honest, I don't think any POIs are going to be really that contested or, congested even. Everyone is going to be given enough breathing room, their own space to go loot up. And we probably won't see too much action until maybe the second zone.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the point that's being made as well is the fact that we haven't seen any early exits, like no team has died early on, and so I can only assume that everyone's got their own POI to themselves. Like, there's going to be no fighting for the first couple of zones, as you said. There's just, people are going to go and play DreamHack. People are sick and tired of dying, which I mean, both of us down to the roots, we're Counter-Strike players, and so it's most certainly an interesting one. We understand the pain and suffering where, you keep dying, you keep losing out on big opportunities. You get sick of the game sometimes, and I, for one, am a sucker for that. I don't know about you, Jack, but I just, frustrates me, winds me up.
Yeah, just answer somebody in the chat there. Somebody saying, why hold a tournament the same day as DreamHack? They knew this was going to happen. Well, this tournament was actually organized in November, so the dates were put forward for November, and then DreamHack got organized. So DreamHack wasn't really announced until after, so this tournament was actually done first. DreamHack then decided that, they were going to have it that weekend. So it's not anything on Razer. They can't just reschedule or anything like that. It's just they have to, actually just play it out. It was already set in stone pretty much. So there's not really much that the guys at Razer can do. It's just one of those things. It's just the way that it fell, unfortunately. And yeah, it's a bit unlucky. Of course, we don't want to commentate on this. We want, full lobbies, a bit of action. We're actually going to get a little bit of action here now, as Vortex is going to drop on through and try and hit a few shots here if he can. Going to try and take the wall, and maybe he's going to get an edit here, maybe pick up a shot. Weston is going to be knocked over, able to find one. Saren is going to be knocked there by Vortex, as now we are going to see, I believe that is everybody eliminated on that trio. So our first trio is actually gone. We're now down to 36 players. So, a little over a third of a regular lobby. But for now, we've only lost one trio, which is fairly ridiculous. But to be honest, I didn't actually expect to see one trio gone until maybe halfway through the second storm moving. Yeah, so I'd say that's the only bit of action we're going to see for a while. But yeah, to answer your question on that, yeah, that's basically how it went. And sadly, nothing we can do.
We were also very nice people, and we even moved the time forward today. It was meant to be at what?
Yeah.
4:30 p.m. GMT, so 5:30 p.m. CET.
Yeah.
And they asked us to wake up at an even earlier time, which is unbelievable.
It's shocking. It's shocking.
Yeah.
That's why somebody said in the chat, the caster sounds a little bit tired. I was like, I am, mate. Yeah, I had to get up really early for this.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
so,
the tournament was moved forward a little bit, wasn't it? I mean, we tried to work around DreamHack. Obviously, DreamHack won't work around us. A tournament of such magnitude. This is a community event. It's hosted by Razer and, of course, all of our lovely partners and sponsors. You can check them out. ! Intel, Pringles, Seagate, all of the above. ! Razer as well. we're you know, it's a community event. It's not like there's active, like, people are making money out of this. The players are making money, but other than that, there's you know, it's not like Razer are flooding you with everything, telling you to buy their product. Literally, this has come out of their pocket. They make nothing from this. Very nice people, so props to them, of course, and props to everyone that's worked on the project in the background. But you said that we wouldn't see much action until the second zone, and while I did agree, I mean, it's looking like we're going to see even more damage now. And Dretta firing off a couple of shots, laser beaming the car, and in fact, Mr. Savage going to pick up the kill. The Nordovin player himself going to deliver, and in fact, there is going to be a bit of silence across the map. The car going to continue to move on by, but Andretta, he knows he's in the bush. There's no hiding from me. I'm the king. Give me your lunch money. Let me know when your teammates are at, and then I'll execute you. And just like that, Mr. Savage picks himself up the kill. 12 teams, 35 players. A very, very slow start, to say the least.
Yeah, very, very slow start. To be fair, a lot of these players now, it makes it really weird. Of course, we see, you know, Tayson and Mr. Savage who attack Go-Go's, and Knicks are still alive. They're still playing as well. So we don't actually know who is alive. We don't actually know who is in this game because there was such a drastic. The lobby was cut in half pretty much because players have left. So, you know, it's very hard to predict who is alive or who is still playing. As for now, Raxo is going to need to build on down. He's going to try and get up with, or trying to get down towards Paco. Queasy Fishy is there now as well, as I believe their wall is being taken. They might be put under a little bit of pressure. We could see another trio be eliminated very shortly as Paco is being surrounded on all sides. Raxo trying to head out and find something. Paco has taken a lot of damage, but for now they are safe for the time being. They are just going to continue to run on through, just going to try and farm up these matches, just trying to stay alive. But for the moment they're trapped. It's like a rat in a cage, you know. They can only go so far without the other team knowing exactly where they are and actually, you know, put them under a little bit of pressure. But for now, it looks like they're doing a good job of just surviving, just maybe trying to build out. It looks like Raxo has gotten out anyway, and might even try and build up onto the team that is above. But he's going to need a little bit of help from his teammates, as he's burnt through nearly all of his hard mats. He's down to 50 metal, so he's got 5 metal builds and the rest are wood. So not a good start from him, especially if they continue to get pushed, because wood is definitely not what you want to, you know, hold people out. So he's going to try and farm up some more mats in the time being before this trio push down on top. But it looks like we're just going to see a little bit of quiet now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to be all too substantial. The thing that's going on, it's, you know, it's not exactly like there's going to be a whole lot of action. As you know, the lobby quite literally cut into a third from where it started from game one, and people just aren't interested. You know, there's DreamHack going on, all of the above, really. There's lots of reasons why people aren't playing. And so, everyone quite content with what's happening. Hunter's Haven most certainly populated, though. Looking at the minimap, there is a lot of teams in this area. It is getting incredibly spicy. And things are going to start to heat on up. Rasco and his team going to try and make the rotate on in. Of course, Queasy Fishy and Paco joining the fray as they jump into the toilet. They'll find themselves elsewhere. The teleport party. The Portaloo of teleportation. Whatever you want to call it. The Yeetus Fetus. I like that idea. However, they come out the other end. They're not too fussed. They're going to just try and make a name for themselves and run away. As we now have a look into what is going to be a very slow time. And I still see there's some confusion in the chat about the Tayson, Endretta, and Savage trio. The way it works, basically, is that they are a trio. Because they changed the roster but didn't inform the administrators of the tournament, they aren't given any points. However, if they'd have told the tournament organizers, you know, anyone, basically, any of the administrators, that they were changing the trio around, they could have started earning points from Game 3, but they haven't, so I'm guessing that they are going to be just discounted from the scoreboard entirely. And they're only playing it for a bit of fun, a bit of a warm-up before jumping into DreamHack or whatever they choose to do next, of course, throughout the day. For the time being, though, your Game 1 and 3 winners attack Nyx and Gogos. A very strong side. The question is, can they go back-to-back and make it 3? The only other time, interesting fact, the only other time that we've had a team win multiple finals is actually Endretta, Scram, and Refsguard, who won 2 out of 5 games on the 5th cup, or the 4th cup, excuse me. And so, the 6th cup could be the last and only opportunity for someone to beat that statistic. The double victory royale on the final day could be taken by the triple of that, of Attack, Nyx, and Gogos.
Actually, Ryan, I think you are wrong there, because there was... Yeah, sorry about this. I was actually talking about it earlier as well. So, it was actually Guild Annis, Guild Flick, and
right,
Gamma
yes.
Thomas that got 3. They've already gotten a triple victory. So, unless...
Wow, was it 3?
Yeah, it was 3 in the end. So, if the boys can manage to pull off a quad, you know, that'd be absolutely ridiculous.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, that'd be insane. They'd have to win the last 2 games here, as now we see Chris is going to be taken down. Mr. Savage is now going to put a bit of pressure onto the builds. And Razer is going to build away and just going to heal up. Mr. Savage goes looking through these builds to find something. I believe he is accompanied by his teammate at least. As for now, they're just going to try and get on through the builds, try and take the walls if they can. They're getting into boxes and they will pick up the kill. It's going to be Vortex that is going to go down. Because Naraz needs to try and back away. He's going to get rattled there using that bouncer. He's going to get now pushed very hard, I presume. He's going to be shot down to 59 HP yet again. Needs to try and just heal up if they can. But this team, they are on the aggression. They are really pushing him down. This will be an awful lot of trouble for him. Trying to build on up and out. He's doing actually a good job of it. Actually doing a lot of damage. Actually getting a knock. Make that too. Snipax has gone down. Hold on a second now. He's going to be able to get at least 1 refresh. And if he builds up, he can get a second. He can use these mini pots to his advantage. And now he's just trying to build out. He is being pressured by, I believe, Savage team of Sticks and Riflet. Now Naraz goes to look for his finish. Goes to look for his full kill. If he can, he's taking walls, taking ramps. The res comes in, a huge shotgun shot, and he's got all 3. An absolute insane play. He's picked up a 4 kill. That's another trio eliminated by just him himself. As now Slicks and Rifle will begin to pressure on Save It. It's actually the first guy, and he hits the knock, but it's the RPG from Rifle to come in and save the day, and they're going to be able to get the res on Save It as well.
Very, very close. The man was an absolute machine. Literally just a purple shotgun in his hands, and he made it everything. As he was able to find himself more and more kills. The early exit, though, will be quite unfortunate for the time being, though. Seems to be everyone's quite content with this. And it's Hunter's Haven, yet again. The end circle looking to edge up here. For now, everyone quite content with how they're playing. You know, everyone playing passive. They understand at this point in time there's 8 teams remaining. Placement points are going to start to flood on in. And obviously, with the decrease in player count, we'd expect to see the late game to begin slightly earlier than usual. You know, I think every game so far, we've seen it last to the final zone. But now, I mean, we could see a game end inside 6 zones as these teams get forced closer and closer together. There's only 22 players, 8 teams. They are going to obviously post up and play passive, but nothing stopping one another to jump into boxes, to try and get some action, try and deliver as much pain and suffering as possible. That is the end of the road for them for the time being. Everyone seems to be very, very happy with what's going on right now.
Yeah, everybody's pretty content. I think you summed it up perfectly there. Everybody's happy enough, of course. These smaller lobbies, you're not going to see much. We've already talked about that, but we're going to talk about it again. Because, you know, there's nothing else to be on about. We see a lot of arrows towards Hunter's Haven here. I believe the majority of trios are now in and around Hunter's Haven. There's teams rotating on in that are being focused by Mayhem. As now 14 seconds until that 3rd zone finishes moving on in. And then the 4th zone will begin to form. We'll push players a little bit closer towards each other, maybe to take a little bit more engagement. I doubt many people will rotate. Yeah, especially because, look at that. The zone is absolutely perfect for everyone. Nobody has to rotate. Everybody can just sit in the build. So we're just going to see definitely another maybe 2 minutes of just people just sitting in and just waiting, because nobody has to rotate. Everybody's happy enough. And for the time being, it's just going to be quiet throughout the server.
100%. Rifle up. RPG in hand. 7 rockets ready to rain hell. They know that they're below. That's huge. The dink comes on out. Fortunately, they are able to put a roof over their head just in time before that RPG connected. That could have been a substantial amount of damage. And you see right now, Rifler not opting for a rifle instead. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he emote? Does he know he's on the stream? Hit us with a different emote. Come on, Rifler. Hit us with a different one. Legend. For the time being, though, Hunter's Haven obviously going to be jam-packed with action, but Rifler seems to have some sort of fun on his own at least. Going to emote around and enjoy himself. Maybe a conflict of interest, you know. A harsh, brutal game, you know. You've got to be so serious and so stern, and the man's just emoting. He's just having fun. He's enjoying himself. I mean, him and his whole trio were still alive. 2 kills between them so far. And they are currently ranked in the top 7 for this game. On the leaderboard, though, not quite the same. I don't see them as high as I'd have expected. Most certainly not near the bottom. But they are looking quite good. 18th place right now. 57 points to their name at the end of last game. Can they pick up the pace now is the real question.
And I mean, that's the real question for everyone here. Like, especially, you know, with all these players dropping out that maybe already, you know, they have resigned their place in the tournament because they want to go and play DreamHack, you know. So there's not going to be too many people, and he's still going, man. He is having some crack here, just absolutely messing around. He must realize that there is going to be absolutely nothing going on. It'd be a bit embarrassing if the team pushed them. But for now, they are just messing around. And you love to see it, I suppose. If you can't have fun when you're playing, what can you have? Like, so, yeah, for the time being now, 10 seconds until this zone will finish moving in. It will begin to form. But as I was saying there, you know, like with the players resigning, this is still really all to play for. Of course, there's still the teams that are out on top. I'm just having a quick look to see the teams that are still in the game. So I believe first are still in. Maybe even 5th as well. I'm not too sure about anyone else. Maybe my my leaderboard is a bit old, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, at the end of the game, we'll probably have a better idea of what is going to happen. But now we have a look at that 5th zone. It is going to force players to move on in and move on forward to that zone. 20 seconds until it will begin to push teams. There's, I believe, about 3 or 4 teams that are just outside of the zone, as Rasco is going to be knocked there. It's going to be Edison that is going to pick that up. It's actually the first bit of action we've seen in a long time, and a very welcomed bit of action because, Ryan, we were running out of things to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes this game it's very inconsistent. I feel like, you know, some games it's non-stop action from beginning to end. We've had that day one of most tournaments, you know, it's just action, action, action. There's maybe like a minute or so. He knows, he's watching the stream, he has to be. He just goes back to emoting. But my point being, you know, we've had some times where it's been non-stop action. There's all sorts going on. Other times it's been like this, where there's been silence basically every minute apart from 1 or 2, and that's about it. So I'm glad that we're finally seeing some action here on the final day on this 4th game. Of course, it's an interesting one. It really is going to be a hopeful one. Of course, a lot of points still up for grabs. 20 players still within the server, 7 teams. That's a lot of kills and a lot of placement points still to be dished out. And as you mentioned, the scoreboard is very intense in terms of, you know, point scoring. At the end of last game, we saw Attack, Nixon, Goros first place with 207. Second was Rotary, Advise, and Nate at 204. Third, Queasy, Raxo, and Paco at 197. Fourth was Yeps, Edison, and Verzant at 193. So, quite literally, the difference between 4th and 1st was a matter of 15 points. And not even that now, because things are getting heated. I feel like, well, he's going to hit a couple of shots. This pistol most certainly doing some damage. The question is, though, can he do anything else? Maybe he just hits him with the emote. Maybe he's just there for the moral support while Slicks and Saver do the work. Admittedly, Slicks yet to get the kill, but Rifler, I mean, he's having fun. As you mentioned, if you can't have fun playing the game, what's the point of playing it? And the man most certainly is emoting for the majority of the 5th and 6th storm. But now is the time to concentrate because it's crunch time. And this is where heroes are made.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is where you have to concentrate. This is where you have to, you know, actually focus up and hit your shots, because this is the most important moment, as 20 players are left in the server, as now Rifler is going to begin to spam on through the builds. A big rocket shot into that build there, doing a lot of damage. Nobody gone down for the time being. Everybody sit up and rotating on in, as now Rifle doing a lot of damage, using 900 of those pistol bullets left, so he can really just keep spamming into those builds until the cows come home. You can just keep reloading it and keep spamming on in, and he's going to do exactly that. I mean, it is the joy of having that light ammo to your advantage. He's going to actually drop Go-Go's out of the build, the spam coming on through, and that is some trigger finger there from Rifle, absolutely spamming into the builds, trying to find something as people are using those bouncers. Going to shoot out that bounce pad, make sure nobody else can use it to rotate. But for now, everybody is safe for the time being. Nobody's actually gone down, I believe, at all. Everybody is still on their feet, even though there is a lot of shooting, a lot of shots popping off. One person is finally going to be eliminated. I'm not too sure who that was. Hopefully we get a little bit of confirmation in a second. Mayhem under a lot of pressure here. He's been dropped on down to 58 HP, and he's actually dropped all the way down. He has no builds left, and he is going to be eliminated. It's now Malibuka actually going to drop Go-Go's here, and he could actually get the kill onto him as well. There would be definitely no res. A huge shot onto Nix there as he's running. That's 2 quick knocks, and he's waiting now for the refresh, and he's got it there as well. Somebody drops on into his box as he continues to apply some more pressure. 6 trios remain as Rifle nearly RPGs himself. He needs to be careful with that as he shoots down into the build. Malibuka trying to build on out. Rifle gonna bounce pad over to Slicks, his teammate, as now they begin to wait. 10 players are left, 4 trios left in the server, as Malibuka on the ultimate low ground. He's just gonna heal up and hope that somebody drops down into the jaws of his awaiting shotgun. Rifle, he still has 2 rockets left. A big rocket through the builds there. He needs to be built back up as he has been shot out and shot back down. There is a knock there. Malibuka is going to be able to pick that up and pick up some mats in the meantime as well, as we are now down to 8. Rifle, it's still with those 2 rockets, as I said earlier. The shot through the builds to see if he can do a little bit more damage. You won't be able to find anything. Malibuka doing a little bit of damage with his AR, as now he's going to take the wall and he's going to hit the shots. There's a bit of piece control as well. Looks like Rotary got out, but he is going to take him down. Malibuka needs to actually find that kill. He needs to find that refresher. He's going to go down, and it looks like he's just out of the zone. He is going to tick and he is going to fall. We are down to 2 trios, as I believe 1 player is already knocked. Advice is down on the low ground. It's Rifle, Slicks and Save It though up above. Nate and Advice now, they're going to try and pick up this victory if they can, but it's going to be a tough task ahead, especially with the HP that Advice is on. He's down to 33 HP and 25 shield. And Rifle saving the Slicks. They are not going to let up. They're just going to continue to spam on down and maybe hit a nice shotgun shot. Rifle is out of RPGs, so that won't be brought into effect just yet, but the zone just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The pressure is just being applied. Advice has no room to breathe. He's going to go back into the storm. He is going to tick. He is going to go down. And now it is all going to be on Nate. A good snipe there onto Rifle. He's actually taking a good bit of damage. And now Nate, he's going to have to use the bouncers to try and get back in. He's 1 more flopper, but no more healing. That is going to be it. Now he's going to be focused by Slicks as he gets in. He is going to be taken down. And that is going to be a 6-kill victory for Saved, Slicks, and Rifle.
Very well played. 6-kill victory royale. I said they needed a game to get back up onto that scoreboard, and boy did they deliver. 70 points, of course, for that victory royale. On top of that, all sorts of other things. And I'm super happy to announce that the winner of the giveaway of our Razer Viper mouse is Wolf Muffins. I saw the man in chat for so long. He deserves it. Congratulations to you, my friend. Someone will whisper you very, very shortly on how to get that delivered to your front door. Very well done to you. But of course, let's get into the intel moment. So we're jumping right into the late game. Malibuka, nice shot onto Go-Go's. And then this second shot, I do believe, that's unreal. I think it was Nick's bounce padded actually into the new zone and just got deleted by Malibuka. Unfortunately, the end of the road was quite imminent. He was caught in a build, and unfortunately, with no builds left, he was flushed out completely. Tried to get this kill here, picked up a couple of mats, but unfortunately, it wasn't too many. It was wood, and only about 20 of them. He did survive for a little longer, though, but unfortunately, the end of the road was, of course, imminent, as he did apply a little bit more pressure. As we see, does find Rotary, but this was the end, I do believe. And with Advice, he ran out into the storm. He didn't want to give anyone any opportunity of loot, and so he just safely ran. Nate, realizing, hold on, I've not got enough floppers. I tried to play the heal off way too early. He had to go back in for seconds, and unfortunately, it was already Saved, Slicks, and the trio eventually that won the 4th game, of course, with Rifler. taking home that victory royale. That is a huge amount of points, but of course, there's still one more game left to go. Chat, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the 5th and final game in just a second. Don't go anywhere.
I'm looking for change. You ain't letting me play. You ain't bringing me down now. I'm a talk of the big town.
Welcome back, everyone. The final game. Who would have thought we'd have been here from the start? You'd think, my word, is there 6 cups, 3 days in each, 18 days of action, and you would have thought that this would have been so long. But we're at our final day, of course, and what a better way to do it. Admittedly, only 30 players within the lobby, but we've got to have our fun. It's the final game, the final tournament, the final cup, the final map. This is it.
This is it. I can't believe it. We're already here. We've got 10 trios, 30 players left in the server. Yeah, everybody else either give it up or going to play DreamHack. You know, there's not much more to put on it. There's not much more to say about it. But we are finally here, and I'd just like to thank all of you guys for joining us, of course. It wouldn't have been anything without the viewers. It would not be anything, especially without all the production team. A big shout out to them, a big thanks to them. And Ryan, me and you, we've been here from the start. Of course, we had Peter Kramer joining us from time to time, but, you know, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Same to you, of course. Let's realise just how important this last game is, of course. Not subtracting from the love that we're going to spread. But this is it. This is the final game. It's all up for grabs. The 5th and final one. Looking at the scoreboard right now, everyone seems to be in hot contentions of first place. Admittedly, Nate, Advice and Rotary have had an absolute whopping 4 games. There's no subtracting from that. An average of 71 points across these 4 games so far. The 5th and final one, of course, is going to be the final nail in the coffin. Either are going to succeed or not. All they have to do is outlive and outfrag Yeps, Edison and Versant. And of course, the back-to-back champions, or back-to-back winners, excuse me, Gorgos, Attack and Nyx currently in 3rd place with 251. It's interesting. It's intense. And it is time to watch some Fortnite for the last time as well. Of course, it wouldn't be a game of Fortnite without the silence at the beginning. The get-go will be very quiet, considering we have 29 of our original 30. Only 1 player falling so far. We've got plenty of time to just relax, take a deep breath, realise this is it. There are going to be no more Fortnite streams after this one, as far as I know, on the Razer stream. There are no more Razer Cups, at least, planned. This is it. This is the one.
I thought you were going to say there's going to be no more Fortnite streams, and that was it. Just ever. There's no more Fortnite. We are closing Fortnite for good. No, there's going to be no Fortnite streams for anyone ever again, but that is not the case, of course, as we now see Swaps and Versa. We've already lost Edison. I believe it was Slicks that maybe got the knock, or maybe actually it was, I definitely know it was Save It Team. It could have been Rifle or Slicks. I think it was maybe Slicks. But now Versa and Swaps, they are going to manage to get away. This car is on fire, so they're going to need to get out of it for the time being. Or they're just driving across. It is going to take... It is going to take a lot of damage. They are just going to manage to get away. A snipe shot to the build there. Christ is going to hit a few ore shots before he drops on away. As now he's going to edit up and maybe try and get into this build fight. Mayhem going to push over and maybe help out his teammate, as his teammate gets involved in a little bit of mayhem. But for now, it looks like they're going to back away. They've just calmed down a slight little bit in this last game. Nobody going to W key too much. And it looks like they are just going to back away and play a small bit safe, which could be the right play. But only time will tell, I suppose.
Rattling off, not doing anything right now. Chris looking for something at least. Knows there are players all around as he's going to build on up on top, of course, of the farmhouse. Looking to try and make his way on through. Chat, how is everyone? What do we think? The reception of this has been vastly accepted. We've had a couple of hiccups here and there, but my word, has this been a tournament I've enjoyed casting, and I hope everyone has enjoyed watching. So drinking in our last game, of course, for the day. I hope you're all very well. There's nothing much else to really talk about. We're just going to have to watch the action unfold ever so slowly. Of course, we don't expect much happen right at the beginning from the get-go. With only 30 players within the server, we're not going to see huge amounts going on. You know, players are dropping out. They're going to go and do their own thing. They don't have an opportunity to win, so they're going to play their part. They've got plenty of time to get mats, plenty of time to get their healing and get ready for the final zone. But it's going to be a well-anticipated one, and at the end of this, we'll be able to crown our victors of the last tournament.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait. Of course, we will be able to crown the victors for the very final time, as now it looks like, I believe, Chris, Vortex, and Ova, they are gonna rotate on in. They're gonna try and get close to the zone. They don't have to go too far, to be fair. They have to go towards Colossal Coliseum. Of course, they can sand tunnel if they want to get over there, but they do have the car handy that they could use as well. Now, Malibuka, who actually popped off now towards the later game last time, he hit some insane shots. He's just going to get into this taxi and going to pick up his teammates and maybe drive on forward. Wesleyan now spots out that taxi that Chris is in, doing a little bit of damage to it, and indeed himself, taking a little bit of shield away from him as he gets into the Colossal Coliseum. And for now, they are just underneath him, and it looks like he might actually think about going down and trying to have a look for that player, but maybe might think again, as now has a look, might have a look for Crits, who is somewhere in the Coliseum, and he might just find him here. If he is not careful, he will spot him out. Can't seem to hit the shot though just yet. Ova has come to join him. A missed sniper shot will give away his position. Now he needs to be careful about pushing in, because he's pushing into a team of 3 and he's on his own for the most part. Seren is above, but he is nowhere near and he can't get down very quickly. He does have that purple dragon spray in hand that, as we all know, if you get a shot off with that from close range, you can do insane amounts of damage and definitely knock somebody in one bullet, but you have to be very, very accurate with it. But it looks like Wesleyan is going to build up and build on a way. They're just going to go back up to the top of Colossal Coliseum, and we are back up to 30 players. The res has come back in. And for now, you know, we're just going to wait and see. Imagine we see a storm surge here. It'd be absolutely ridiculous, as Vortex doing a lot of damage there to Wesleyan, as the engagement is going to be indeed well and truly started. Seren trying to get up close with that charge. Or not the charge, excuse me, the Dragon's Breath. But for now, he is going to build up and away. A little bit of damage being exchanged, not an awful lot. And now we're going to go into a little bit of a lull.
Yeah, we expected this. It is going to be very, very silent this last for the next couple of zones at least. There might be a couple of kills and maybe a team elimination here and there, but quite honestly, I don't see anything too substantial happening. It most certainly isn't going to be the end of the game as of yet, as there will be shots exchanged. Nothing too much going to connect right now. Seren just going to ping out to his team. Watch out, there's a guy over here. Be careful, but everyone is just going to disengage. Happily so as well. No one really wants to take the over-aggression. The overextension, of course, would be silly. In fact, Blackie going to drop 100 damage precisely as he loses all of his shield. He will be able to, of course, reimburse that with minis, a large pot, maybe, whatever he chooses to do so. As now, the rotate will come on in. The sand tunneling strategy will continue. Wesleyan is certainly going to use that to his advantage as he rotates on around, but for people like Malibuka and his team, they'll be looking to try and pick up the trio, and they're going to make their way swiftly forward on in towards this new zone. They are going to try and loot up, get themselves some materials here and there, try and live life to its fullest. But for the time being, everyone seems to be very content, very set on this late game. There's no need to over-aggress, no need to, you know, extend yourself too much, because yes, you do get points for a 10th place placement. It's just, you know, it's not exactly a victory royale. It's not first place. It's not credibility. It's just a matter of holding on. You've got to win this game, and quite considerably. As we go to Rifler's POV right now, Savid and Slicks, of course, the teammates that you guys turned up, but it might just be too little too late. Maybe they can get something done in this game. Rifler going to catch himself on the stairs, but they are going to go for the aggression. They're done. They're playing passive. Jump pad on in. They are going to take the aggression. First shots rattling on through. Rifler going to take more than he dishes out. Slick's going to be there to assault and assort the players and try to find himself their way back in. Big pot going to be popped. Rifler going to get back up to a full 200 HP before taking the next engagement. Still 30 players, and they still have to move in towards this new zone.
Yeah, they still have to move on in, as David might get a bit aggressive here. He has grouped up with, I believe, Rifler. They are putting a little bit of pressure on this player. I believe it is Crits, and he is going to be taken down. David picking up the final kill. Rifler, it was actually that got the knock. As another knock comes in, it's going to be Rifler again, and David combining to pick up another kill. Ova is going to go down. Now, Slicks, he's going to need to heal up, and Vortex is going to be taken care of. Slicks will take him down. The first trio is going to be eliminated. And now we are going to see Blackie getting into a little bit of an altercation. Malibuka going to just heal up for the time being. Swaps now having a look if he can go for the snipe. This player is jumping around and making it very hard for him to hit as he goes for a snipe. Actually does a lot of damage. It's Seren that is down to very low HP as they get aggressive and continue to push on through, applying the pressure. They could get a big knock here if they keep on pushing in and keep on spamming through the builds, and maybe could take it a wall here and maybe find something to spam coming on through the ramp, as no bullets connecting just yet. And now Swaps is actually going to pick up the knock. It is going to be Ursulin that is going to fall. He's going to be taken down, and Swaps, he's going to continue on to aggress. Seren is now healed up, but he's lost his teammate in the process, and all the loot goes with it. Swaps is going to pick it all up, and now going to continue to apply the pressure. But it looks like he is going to back away and maybe try a different approach.
For those complaining in the chat about why we started at the same time as DreamHack, we've obviously already addressed that situation, but our tournament was actually released, the information was released earlier than DreamHack, so DreamHack overlapped with our times originally, and we even moved the tournament forward to, it's, you know, we tried to move the tournament forward for fair play and, of course, to allow everyone the opportunity. Swap's going to find a kill onto Blackie, but as I was saying, you know, it sucks. We understand. It isn't a great scenario to be in, the fact that we've lost, you know, a considerable amount of players due to other tournaments. But, of course, this is a community event. It's not like this is for RMR or anything like that. You know, there's no points behind it. It is quite literally a tournament for fun, and Razer have been so kind to host. So, props where props are due. I know it's frustrating that your teams like, you know, Mr. Savage and, you know, all the big names effectively. I won't go through the whole list, but all the big names aren't turning up because they've got DreamHack, and we understand that. But sadly, that is the way it goes. But, of course, being our last game, it's not going to be too impactful. The teams that had a great chance of winning now, well, they're certainly still in. I'm looking at the scoreboard right now. Nate, Advice, and Rotary, they are currently in pole position with 285 points heading into game number 5. And, of course, Yeps, Edison, and Verzen are at 259, just below 8 points behind the double champs. Gargos, Attack, and Nyx are going to be with 251. The question is, though, can they continue? Rifler, of course, Saving and Slicks alongside him, going to try and take this early engagement. Rifler, known for BMing, known for the emoting, known for having his fun. But the question is, can he turn up when they need to? Because this will be a huge engagement for them to win, and could honestly put them in great steading heading into this one. They are going to build on up. Of course, they have to hike now, taken away from everyone. But they've got 55 seconds to move towards this new zone, and there is most certainly going to be a fight breaking out. The question is, will it actually happen? Will it happen here, or will it happen at a later stage? Rifler can use this time to just sandburrow, and he's going to rotate on around. Instead, I don't think he's going to be given too much opportunity, because sand does run out fairly soon. So they are just going to try and apply the pressure where possible. Saber going to spot the man out, and now the aggression will continue. The shots rattling on through for either side. They are going to jump into the storm right now, as Saber is going to take the fast approach. He does know that the players are in close, and he now has an idea of what he wants to do. He gets an idea of where the players each are at. He spots the man using the jump, or the bounce up rather, and Savid will just evacuate. Doesn't want to over-aggress, and doesn't want to possibly lose his life for the sake of getting some points, and so will fall back. He has the healing that he needs to have, and now they look to apply the pressure on those coming in towards the zone right now.
I mean, they have to move, because this zone, it doesn't tickle. Like, it's going to hurt an awful lot. So you have to actually get on in. You have to just keep pushing into the storm. You don't want to be taking engagements out there. Looks like both trios will get in safely. Nobody goes down in the process, but now the heals are going to be used. A few consumables, you know, are just going to be, well, consumed, for lack of a better word. As now Rifle is going to now maybe switch up his approach and now go and try and push into these builds as we move on forward to the players that are currently in the number 1 spot. Nate, Advice, and Rotary, who are putting a bit of pressure onto Seren, as he is going to use a bouncer and try and get away. The fourth storm has formed. 35 seconds until that comes into fruition, and everybody is gonna want to be boxed up in this zone. Of course, everybody wants to be already in and focus maybe a team that is rotating in late, as Edison is or may find out as his team are now rotating on in, just trying to get into the zone. There is a drop in front and they will pick that up, as now they will pretty much have a little bit of free passage. There's players to the left, there's some players to the right, that blue team as well, when they maybe get into the zone, but for the most part they're going to have a pretty free rotation. I don't know if they're going to be held. They might be actually okay for the time being, and for now, yeah, it's just going to go a little bit quiet again. We've only lost 5 players all in all in this game. We still have 25 left. 9 trios still remain. I wonder who's going to take it. Ryan, do you have any thoughts on who you'd like to take it?
I have no clue. I mean, to be fair, the team on screen we see right now, Savid, Slicks and Rifler, very strong. They know exactly what to do. They know how to play this game. And they've demonstrated that last game. I don't think they're going to take the whole thing home. I mean, right now, they are placed in a respectable 8th. They're going to need a monstrous game to get into first. And I don't see that happening with only 25 players in the server. But it's very possible for landing top 5, and for this game specifically, I think they have every opportunity to win. Just like everyone else at this point in time, I don't think we can declare a large victor. I don't think we can say, yeah, this person is going to win. You know, we can have our guesses, but everyone has a perfect opportunity. You know, we've only lost 5 players. We're only down 18. There's still plenty of action yet to come. And we'll have to wait and see how people deliver. So I'm going to throw it back to you. You got any ideas? Are you looking at anyone realizing, yeah, this team's got it in them, or do you think it's just going to go anywhere?
I'm just having a look at the leaderboard, to be honest, and I think it's Nate, Advice, and Rotaries. I think it's really theirs for the taking. They haven't actually won a game yet, and this would definitely, they definitely have a big chance of winning this one. Of course, they're already in the top 9. But if they can finish, you know, top 2 and make sure it's really the only players that are really challenging them are Edison and Yeps and Gogo's Attack and Nix. So, you know, if they can actually fend some of them off, it's actually Attack is going to be knocked and he is going to be taken down. It's going to be Saving picking up that one. So, yeah, if Nate, Advice and Rotary can keep going and keep surviving and maybe pick up a few kills along the way, I definitely think they can come out the victors of the whole thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Right now, Lazy Lake is going to be the place of interest, of course. Everyone looking to get towards Lazy Lake because that's where the zone is. Of course, everyone has got to make sure they are safe, securely stowed away. And Steppy will rotate on down. He'll just be looking to find his way on through, grab himself a couple of materials. But Sniper, oh, he's going to box himself in. Going to be quite content in Lazy Lake right now. Within this zone, players are trickling in. There's nothing too substantial happening, but of course it's all going to heat up in due course, I do believe. Because of course at some point, well, there's got to be an engagement. People have got to start shooting each other, and it's only a matter of time until we see that.
Yeah, and looking at the storm coming on in, 6th zone, first moving zone is going to come into fruition, and now we're going to see people fight. They have to. They've no other choices now. Snipbacks will have a look. He'll fire a few shots at Flicks and Rifle. As I believe that is his teammate Steppy that is just above. He's just doing a little bit of damage if he can. He's actually pretty split from his teammate. He needs to be careful that he's not dropped on now, as he will just build up on above them. And now the rotations will begin to come in because, as you can see there, the Stormite is indeed shrinking. Snippick's going to use those bouncers to move on forward and move to get into the zone. Needs to group up with his teammates, though. Doesn't want to be focused as a solo, and he's actually going to build up onto the high ground, do a little bit of damage. But now he's taking height. Mayhem is going to be knocked. It's going to be his teammate. Snipbacks is his teammate, that is Steppy, to pick up that knock and to indeed pick up that kill. As 30 seconds until that 6th zone will stop moving. Nate is going to be knocked. In the meantime, Slick's taking a lot of damage. As now we see, look how congested this is becoming as the zone gets smaller and smaller. As now we hear shots being rattling on through. I believe Snipax is still in the zone. Saren is going to be knocked and taken down. Rifle already on 3 kills. Slicks and Savin have 1 each. As now down to 21 players left in the server. 8 trios remaining. Rifle taking a good bit of damage there. The 7th zone is going to begin to form, and now it's just going to begin to move. Stormy up above, just doing as much damage as he can. Stempy is very low. He's going to be knocked in the storm. Shiz Milano is going to be taken care of as well. Stempy is going to be fully eliminated. Now Stormy builds on up just to the Piri, and now begins to spray on down. Save it, going to be the receiver of a few bullets through the build. But for the time being, we don't see any more knocks. Everybody is still alive. Just going to try and connect the builds where possible. But Nyx is going to be focused, and he's actually going to be knocked there. Trying to go for the kill. He will be eliminated. Another player is going to be taken care of. We're down to 17. And Snipbacks falls by the wayside. And now 8 trios remain. Gogos is being focused now hard. Mats are going to be dropped over to allow a teammate to build just to keep tarping on in. Save it going to be knocked. Gogo is going to be taken down. He's going to be exploded, I believe. Rifle is so low there. The tick in the storm, and he will go down. He needs a refresh hard. His teammate Safe it has gone down. Rifle is going to follow soon after. It's going to be Rotary that picks up that one. In the meantime, Slicks is going to fall. That is Savage team eliminated. Raxo picking up that one as well. With 12 players left, 5 trios left. Ryan, for the very last time, I'll let you take it away.
My word, is this going to be an intense showdown? As you mentioned, 5 teams, 12 players. It just is going to be where sparks fly. As you see on screen right now, the high ground taken by Stormy and his trio, they're just relentless with the amount of ammo that they're using. Just raining hell on everyone, and I don't blame them, to be honest with you. It is just a prime opportunity to try and find yourself some kills. Prime opportunity to find just anything, and there you go. Safri finds Rotary, but unfortunately Stormy has dropped to the floor. He's going to be eliminated quite swiftly, but he'll continue to build on up and across. He's only got 7 more builds, so knock and the conversion is there. Fika going to drop his mats across, allow him and his team to find their way on through. Going to continue to trade the mats, as in fact Fika going to try and make his way on down. The height will be retained, but they are going to take it quite smartly. They don't want to aggress all too much, as Fika going to drop to the low ground and is within the storm. He will be knocked and swiftly dismantled off. So only Safiri on the high ground left to go. And now we head into our final 4. 2 teams, but of course it's solo versus a trio. That'll be Edison, Swaps, and Vership, and that find themselves the last and final victory royale. We'll have a look at the scoreboard very shortly. What a final way to end off the day. What a great day. What a final. All of that.
And actually, I'm just having a quick look at the leaderboard. It is going to be Yeps, Edison, and Virson that are going to take it. They take the Razer Invitational Europe. That is the number 6, the 6th and final tournament. And for the last time, a big shout out to Intel. They've been absolutely insane. The Intel moments is, you know, it's just such a great feature to have. It just lets you recap, and it's been insane throughout the tournament to go back and watch all of these replays. But we're going to see Sapiri up on the high ground doing a lot of damage, taking down Rotary, and then doing a little bit more damage to that player down below, just to continue spamming on builds. The same old story. The team that had height just applying the pressure, but it actually wasn't the team on height that came out on top. Big Lol actually taking a big shotgun shot. He got taken down towards Storm. It was Edison picking up that one. Superi tried his best, but a nice fast edit down and a quick kill there from Edison as well. They pick up the victory. They pick up the tournament, and congratulations to them.
Absolutely, and before we sign things off, may I remind you, !vote. This is your time to vote for your Intel MVP. It'll lead you to the Razer Discord. You can vote from the top 9 who you think deserves the extra €500 for the MVP. That'll be announced later on in the Discord and obviously sent off to the pros. But wow. 6 weeks of Fortnite, 18 days of action, and it concludes right here. I couldn't have asked for a better trio, of course. Myself, of course, Jack Zerfa-Kelly, and from distance, Peter Kremer. And of course, let's not forget about Pepito, our lovely producer, and our 2 lovely observers, Q and, of course, Swelder. They're the guys that made it work. They're the guys in the background. Of course, thank you to all of our lovely partners, Intel, Seagate, Pringles, and, of course, Razer, the people that put on the show. But thank you to all the fans at home that watched over the week, supported everyone, supported the pros, gave all your love. It has been an absolute pleasure, and it's a strange feeling. It's a horrible one. It's a sad one. But we are signing off here. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. And once again, thank you to everyone, all of our production, all of the sponsors, everyone that made this tournament possible. It has been a pleasure. I'm Ryan Retrobone. I'm joined by Jack, Zerfa, Kelly. And hopefully we'll see you all very soon. Take care and bye-bye.
to hear